that, yes, has gone in favor of Luminosity the last 2 times, but you really can't count any of it out. I think the important thing to note, the last time they played, Luminosity started off on the defending side. They took a 9-3 lead into half. So they're looking to replicate that performance here to try to take an early start on split.
Well, 5 frenzies. And I believe the pistol we saw out of Sentinels in the last game was dapr making some A presence into a B split. So we may see something similar here. Already drawn that wall out, poking some holes in it. And actually, I mentioned this last time they played, Doug, but one of the things that I really enjoyed about watching this series from both of these teams is the resurgence of Sage.
Yep.
Let Sage be a normal pick again, okay? Because, I mean, ooh, okay. Early fire coming out of mid. Zombs takes out Thief over there at rope. So maybe change of plans from Sentinel towards... Ooh,
Man,
Proto
that's
getting
just so
caught out, too.
Yeah, that's so brutal to deal with, because at this point, look at how Luminosity have to respond. They know that there's been somebody hacking away at the wall on A, but then they just drop somebody mid, they drop somebody B. They don't know where the hit is. That spreads them so thin, and that gives Sentinels room to work with. They're going to get onto the site on A. Stellar has a chance, though, at something spicy, as it looks like he and the Rays, your boy Dre, are going to be around the corner, potentially getting behind them.
Cutting off that sewer rotation is Stellar. Sinatraa fall. 3 on 4. Moose is going to collect an ever so important frag over at mid, so now it's just a raw site retake. And Sentinels doesn't even have screens control, so having to cover 3 different avenues of approach. dapr will find the first. He falls short with a bit of HP, but he grabs the second no matter what. That is a huge play coming out of him, and it's just Moose now. 1 on 3 approaching from the ramp's position. Drops the camera from dapr. Takes the gunfight. The duel is not quite over just yet. dapr's looking for his 4th, does not get it. Zombs cleans things up, starts with his frag over on Thief, ends with 1 on Moose. Sentinels really was not, and I like the way that they play that pistol there, Doug, where, you know, they didn't necessarily convert a whole lot on the way of resources at any point in the map. They're just stalling, holding in position, playing for the orb a little bit. And that catches out Thief, that catches out our Proto, and it just makes it so much easier to regroup and hit something. Well done to Sentinels.
Yeah, and again, it really kind of unlocked, as you said, with those picks early on that gave them so much flexibility. Luminosity not buying up anything crazy. You see a Sheriff in the hands of a Proto, which, as has been insanely well documented, the guy's almost automatic with that thing in his hands. We'll see if he's able to cook anything up here. Sentinels win the pistol. Luminosity on the defending side, an early deficit, but we'll see what they can cook up. Sentinels here, there wasn't an early wall mid from over on A that they had to try to hack through and create some noise around, but they did get free mid control. Look at how far up Shazam is.
I love this. Proto ever deadly with a Sheriff. Doesn't find one yet, though. And now Sick, encroaching up on the default sight box, knows that for the most part, there's a lot of angles that are cleared. dapr crunching in from heaven. Sentinels constricting, you know, within the bomb site itself. LG just 1 by 1 getting shut down, and now Moose again in a more than hopeless situation, Doug.
Can it be more than hopeless?
I don't think so. not like this.
Well, it was just honestly, it was free for Sentinels, right? Like, I think all of the space that they were able to take away from Luminosity, entirely uncontested. A beautiful round there from Sentinels. And yes, they had the gun advantage, but it wasn't just that. It was how they played the map, too, that really set them up.
Right. And I think, you know, the general posture of Sentinels, it's so easy for us to cast this because we just watched them play on Split. But they also, against Xset, had the ball rolling really early on with the economy. And this bonus, you know, when we're talking about LG coming in, you know, off of a series loss, you know, having to wait just a bit for this match to start, I wonder whether or not the fragging power is going to be here for LG, you know, in these first few rounds, or whether or not it's going to take them a bit to keep back up, so to speak, as Sentinels has. So, interesting start so far, but gunfight with Moose, early dink from a Spectre does not feel good.
Certainly not. Limits your options. That wall's going to go up again. Sage showing presence. As Moose stands around the pillar, backs off. Luminosity, their calling card in their surge has been how well they played the defensive side. They play retakes insanely well. They anchor sight super well, and we're seeing some of that out of your boy Dre already as he gets the opener. The spike nowhere near the site yet, but I mean, the Sage, she's all the way in, right? They fully committed.
Right, Stellar picking up an ever-important frag there. That could have potentially been a hole in the defense, but Zombs and 6 searching now. Zombs will find Moose. But Dre holding steady finds 2 more with that Vandal, just chopping heads. That's a 4th. And when Dre's feeling it, that man is a turret. Excellent frags there coming out from LG. And I mentioned it, Doug, but only 1 death there. Economy going for LG. You know, if you're able to buy throughout the first couple of rounds here, shut down the bonus, and take it to this first gun round comfortably, you know, this might put a damper on Sentinel's ability to kind of spread their wings and find space on the map the way they were against Xset. And, you know, we're talking about space. There was plenty of it given off of LG, and I think that the changes to this map, you know, talking about specifically the double stack underneath Heaven, you know, the wider opening over there towards B main, I feel like it's okay to kind of give that space as defender now, as LG just showed us. Dre was able to dance around the pillar a little bit more. You know, the information for the attackers isn't exactly there, so, you know, LG just kind of through attrition won that last round, and now first gun round for Sentinels coming out here, Doug.
Another potential opportunity for your boy Dre to flex a bit on the site and show off just how well he can anchor things. He might get a shot. Just another inch, man. Not gonna come to fruition, but again, the space that Sentinels can take, right? They've worked all the way up. 2 members made it through. Stellar finally swings, but dapr gives them the business.
The problem with that is, yeah, you maybe find the opening pick, Stellar, that was huge, but right away, Sick has his resurrection available, and Zombs is back with us. Now it's a 5-on-4 in favor of Sentinels, and not only that, but you've yielded all of B Heaven. Look again, both players on the B bomb site are quickly rotating now for the A split that's coming out from Sentinels, but
Dapr
yeah,
has
this
to go big here. Yep. He spotted at least one. He hears the fire, so he knows where they're going to be. Oh, don't do it to him. Dapr gets one. Dapr swings, isn't able to get the second. Your boy Dre, again, with the rifles, just so dang good. Sentinel still has the numbers advantage. My gosh, the showstopper's there. He gets punished, but he is able to get one as Shazam drops. A 2v1 in favor of Sentinels. It's just down to a proto. I love this stack here. It's
the over-under.
Almost unwinnable in this spot, right? That's such a devastating thing to swing into. But if there's anybody who has the filthy shot to do it, it's a proto. He's going to tap. It's a decent idea where they are. There's one. Oh, he isolated, but he didn't fully check the other one. Sick gets 3. Sentinels take a 2-round lead.
Whew. That was so close. I think Sentinels really had a handle on that round. You know, from the res, from the shadows to the back of bomb site B, I really felt like Sentinels had that in full control. But Dre, who, you know, I mentioned might be having a hot game here, really turned on dapr on that lurk. Was able to pick up the one frag with the showstopper and be Heaven, but Doug, oh my goodness, Sick on 1 HP somehow survives it, despite the rocket blast going off at his knees. You know, you got to be counting your lucky stars there. In fact, he wins the 1v1 to close it out, so that is the huge difference that could have made regardless. Forcing up a bulldog here at male might mean a little bit of a mid play coming out. Oh, say, actually, there's guns across the board here, but mid digression will be coming out here at any moment. Man.
Again, they continue to play around that middle space. Sick. Gosh, he's just so devastating. Thief trades it back out, but he eventually falls. And that's going to really put things in a situation where Sentinels has a slight numbers lead, but a lead nonetheless, as it continues to go sideways for Luminosity. Sentinels just leaving a proto on his lonesome again, this time with the Sheriff. Not nearly the same bang that rifle's going to have. Again, the odds are even more stacked against him than they were before, but we'll see. He maybe grabs a rifle, tries to get an exit on the way out. It's just a tough spot to be in right here.
Oh, for sure. And things were actually looking good. It was a 3-on-3 at one point in this round, but that lurk from dapr out of sewers really has caught off LG a couple times now. Sick closes it out into a proto. Nothing he could do there, but it's hard. I mean, you saw Stellar right there at mid. It wasn't just him. It was a couple players that legit had no idea and certainly did not suspect that dapr may have been there for the refrags late in the round. But nevertheless, Sentinels cleaning things up, closing it out. 4 4-1 now. And for defender side split, you got to wonder, you know, this is the next gun round, but you lose this one, you're allowing Sentinels a whole lot of breathing room, and you've got a few ultimates to work with, but really anxious to see whether or not they have a full stop answer for this mid control that Sentinels is showing, and beyond that, you know, they're just going to drop this wall at mid and then group something together. But dapr catching that paranoia, knows there's a bit of A aggression coming towards him, but ultimately nothing comes of it, Doug.
Yeah, and we've seen that sage wall across mid a couple of times now, but Sentinels just, they either blast right through it or they just wait it out, but they're still able to get that space. That sage wall has not been enough to stop Sentinels as they take control of that area of the map.
Right, Stellar finding a nice headshot to start. That's not his first of the game, but a proto finally chiming in as well. And immediately this Sentinels push is sent back towards their spawn. They're going to need to reset and think about what they've done here, but look at LG. They're already wise to it.
Swarming.
4 players just sprinting through spawn, Doug.
Yeah, but the spike is the one that's not going that way. Now it's going to start to pull over. dapr has taken a ton of space. But he is going to be the first one there. Man, he gets cleaned up instantly. Moose swings, takes care of him. Sick trades it back out, but they've got 30 seconds here. There's time, but you've got to move. Thief from up top. He's able to get one. That res doesn't matter as your boy Dre takes care of him as well. It's just down to zombs. He's going to swing. He's going to get challenged. He's going to get taken out as well. Luminosity get on the board again.
Looks like a feeding frenzy over there at, you know, underneath the heaven, where just that res comes through. Everyone knows that it's undefended. You know, Sick is there trying to fight 3 different angles. There's no way he's going to frag anyone. So LG wisely not showing their hand until after they've been committed towards the A-bomb site. Well played to them. And hey, there's not only a round on the board, but you're starting to stack up a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, you forced out the res coming out from Sick, so they'll wait on that for some rounds to come. Sinatraa 1 orb off, Bladestorm 1 orb off. There's plenty of opportunity here for Sentinels in this round to maybe get creative a little bit. Turn an A execute or a B execute into something a little bit more deadly. But, you know, every round so far, we've seen them at least posturing towards middle. Work out the Sage Wall if it's there, which is not this round, but just feeling out the defense, seeing what LG is going to throw at him. And, you know, Dre's wisely holding onto this grenade as long as possible, but here comes the B-Heaven push now, Doug.
There. Oh, no.
Whoa. I jinxed it.
Things you hate to see. That nade isn't going to connect. And, well, even with that in mind, you see Sentinels, it looked like they were pretty ready to pull the trigger and go in on that thing, but they've hesitated. They haven't fully committed here. You see the pieces starting to come together. That wall from Sick is going to go up again, as I think it's gone almost every round. A couple of kills traded to Proto, able to get 2. Sinatraa swings in as he tries to get onto the site. That Sage utility is just so difficult. That Neural Theft is going to be used. A 3v3 here. The thing for Luminosity as well is they have all of they have every single ultimate up. You just heard the Empress used as well. They're going to get the spike down. We'll see, again, an opportunity for Luminosity to flex and show just how good their retakes can be. Shahzam and Stellar drop as it's just down to Thief. Thief, hello, he gets 1. Gonna dismiss away. He's in a 1v1 here. He's got an opportunity. He has what he needs. He's got the kit for it. He's gonna push dapr off. dapr swings. He's gonna tap it yet again. Tries to stick it. He saw dapr. Gonna try to get it to half. Okay, he does that, then pulls off. He doesn't. He takes the challenge, and dapr wins the 1v1, a 3K for him.
dapr is so good to close that out. That is impressive. Wow. The only thing that I'll say about that, LG had really handled a little bit of adversity quite well. They have this res available to them, and certainly I'm sure they were thinking about it as they were going in for the retake, but instead of having Moose entry, Stellar does, and he gets traded out immediately, so that 3-on-3 potential, you know, 4-on-2 or 3-on-2 immediately turns on its head. Suddenly Thief needs to clutch. Really could have been a different scenario had Stellar maybe swapped positions there. Nevertheless, that is all said and done. So 5-2 now, Sentinels back in the driver's seat, holding on to a few different ultimates as well. So, you know, if it comes to that, it's available to them. But LG, really the question mark for me is, okay, never mind. It's answered.
What was your question, Lex?
Is there anything they can do on this eco? to find some kills, and there it is.
Yeah, so far so good. But here comes the showstopper from Sinatraa clearing out hell. No way. He goes by undetected. No way. Your boy Dre gets him. That's 3 on the round. Sick. Able to take care of a proto. But in that, what looked so favorable, you teed it up, you asked them what can they do, they deliver as they get things down to a 3v1. Sick able to get 1 as he takes care of your boy Dre and heads back. 1 point away from the res. This is certainly doable, able to get a pick, take numbers advantage with the res. Maybe you've got something cooking, but it looks like he's actually going to hightail it out today.
I'm sure, you know, at this point in time, we're on a delay, of course, but Twitch chat's probably spamming Rosa ult. And honestly, I was surprised to see him rip the showstopper and be heaven, but that was just really unfortunate. Just tucked in the corners. No way he could have seen that. Sentinels collecting both orbs with it sick here after that frag means he has that res up, and now it's a 2-on-2, Doug. 15 seconds, but they have the A site, so Sentinels not out of this round just yet.
Yeah, but dapr doesn't have a gun. What he does have is the element of surprise as he gets 1.
Ooh.
Thief trades it out. Sick comes up clutch yet again as he gets the 3rd. Sentinels take the round.
I mean, this is why Sage can be so good. Like, that round was a 1-on-3 at one point, earns the frag, collects both ult orbs, brings his homie back, and yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, dapr didn't have a gun, but didn't matter. I love the Sage wall in. Classic to the back of the head says... Curtains for Moose. Sick. Nice round, man.
So, and here's the interesting thing about how things played out the last time these two teams met on this map. Again, Luminosity had an excellent first half on the defensive side. 9-3, entirely different story. As it seems like all the kills are going their way too. Sinatraa able to get 1. Your boy Dre using that showstopper that has been by and large, insanely ineffective all day. And that's another example of that, right? Just he's paranoid, he doesn't have much information, and he has to fire blind.
Unfortunate. And sometimes you get a little lucky with that, but no, we haven't seen that much. Right now, contact over at ropes means Thief falls. dapr finding another entry for his team, and now LG scrambling to get set up for this A-hit.
Again, Sentinels are going to be the first one there. dapr. Oh my gosh, dapr, you're a bad, bad man. Shahzam gets in on it as well as he takes care of Moose. Sentinels still with the numbers advantage. The spike isn't even down yet. And it doesn't seem like they're super concerned about it as they can just hunt for kills. Shahzam takes care of Dre. It's just down to a proto again in a 1v4 situation. A difficult one at that. Lex, here's the thing. I was mentioning this earlier. The last time they played, not only was it that Luminosity had an excellent defensive side, but it just seemed like all of the gunfights were going their way, right?
Well,
like
it wasn't just their gunfights, Doug. It was specifically dapr's gunfights. Okay, for Sentinels, he's their A defaulter. He's the guy who makes their A presence, and you're absolutely right. Thief the other day was taking aim battles against dapr, and dapr, you can see right there, I don't know a Cypher that's more willing to give a gunfight against players because his aim can be that scary. And if you go 0-4 or 0-5 in those duels, suddenly the A presence for Sentinels evaporates. Now right there, you know, pressing through A heaven, peeking into defender side spawn, that's the power of Cypher and dapr when he's playing on it, and Sinatraa already opening things up here for Sentinels.
Again, man, a complete night and day difference from what we saw the last time around. Sentinels have the numbers advantage here as Luminosity have just struggled to find answers. They struggle to get anything going.
Yeah, and knowing that, okay, we've made presence over at B, top A ramp is open. All last series that we played these guys, our proto stayed on site. It's like these guys know, it's like they've played each other recently, Doug. It's crazy.
Who would have thought? All right, we'll see.
Oh, look at this play. It's creeping towards screens, and a proto says no.
A proto with the sheriff, Shahzam, stops it. He takes care of Thief. A proto's still alive. He's going to have a chance, and it's not going to be much of one, but it was a chance. It's just going to leave Stellar alone as he tries to rotate over to the site. Again, in a 1v3 situation here, you presume he maybe plays for exits or something like that, tries to carry the Phantom into the next round as best as he can. But Lex, you tell me this, man. You're down as big as you are. Do you roll the die?
And try and clutch it here? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. Let's find out here in the next few seconds, Doug. I couldn't tell you, but hey, if he gets this kill early, why not? Go for it. Get your confidence up. Do something, but peek first by Shazam. Yeah, he'll fall.
It just seems like nothing is going their way. Again, just a far cry from 2 days ago.
Sure. And I think that was like, you know, maybe we should have touched on it more then, but it wasn't just that it was a Reyna or a Jet or whatever Thief had been playing, and depending on the map, it was, you know, Reyna here. But the duels that dapr was taking, it seemed like he had to play scared over here throughout much of their attack half. And we've already seen it 2 or 3 times where if he finds that entry or he knows that Thief is somewhere else on the map, he's taking extreme liberties to take map control for free by himself.
Confidence, baby.
And that means that a map called Split, you know, we're talking about actually splitting bomb sites and taking pieces of the map control away from the defenders. That is exactly what he's been doing well. And it's something that I think, you know, we could talk about confidence, we could talk about whatever, but the fact is, if you're not hitting your shots and that's how you're going to play the game, and I know, you know, a viral Reddit thread where Shazam kind of went on this rant, you know, if Thief's going to go ahead and take those gunfights and that's how they're going to defend, if he's losing them, suddenly a Proto has an enormous task ahead of him that he's just, you know, unable to take care of himself. So struggling is the side of LG, looking for some B main control perhaps to at least stifle the default of Sentinels. Dre gets in there cleanly past that slow orb, but the gunfight goes the way of Sinatraa, who's been hot today, but Moose steps up, throws the trade, and suddenly Sentinel's back in a 4-on-4, but Stellar has one reply there to Shazam that at least is going to give them that advantage back that was so quickly dissipated, Doug.
They saw something that they wanted to talk about. We saw a tactical pause right before this round went on, and so far it seems to be working as they have the numbers advantage. Had it for a while, but again, things are just kind of falling apart here. Sentinels managed to bring this thing down to a 2v2. The spike has made its way onto B. The one benefit for Luminosity is that they're going to be pinching in from opposite sides. A Proto is going to be coming in from Heaven, and Moose coming in from Garage. If they can execute something at the same time, they may have a bit to work with. No Paranoia. They do have one smoke, but that's all they have.
Last player standing.
We'll see. My gosh, they just swing at the same time. Moose is caught really with nothing that he can do with Proto in a 1v1. A Proto able to get one. This is what they need. They need this to get momentum back. A Proto just with 25 health, however, he's going to remove the dart, and 6 swings at just the right time to get 3.
Sentinels is so good. It's dapr and sick right there, playing in tandem. A push, a pull, a wide swing with the both of them ready to trade it out. And Moose, you know, he looked like he may have been ready for it. The bullets don't land, he falls, and then it's curtain for the sides of LG, and now a 9-2 scoreline, Doug. This is a dominant Sentinels display, and this is what I was worried about, that maybe Sentinels coming hot off of victory against Xset could easily take that momentum, run with it, take the first map on Split, and suddenly LG feeling perhaps down and out loses the series. But hey, we're a long way away from that. Simply pointing out that this is very different from the last 2 times these 2 teams have run into each other.
Sentinels have a lot of ults to work with here as well. They've got the res, the showstopper. They have options aplenty in front of them, but they don't account for Thief at the top of ramp. Shazam also has that up and the Blade Storm to work with. The 5v4 still here in favor of Luminosity as the spike creeps over towards B. Good bit of smokes early on. No real contact on site, but your boy Dre able to provide some cover from Heaven. Also, that wall that we've talked about a lot throughout the map as Sentinels is just really exposed. The middle of the map was up, but just went down as well. We'll see how Sentinels decide to play this out.
And they know Sinatraa takes B main. They know he has a showstopper. They're opting to play very passive at B. Moose is already in defender spawn, wisely so. And even with that early aggression staunched, Dre is going to find the first one on the sick, and here it comes. B hit in with a showstopper out from Sinatraa, Doug.
Sinatraa going all the way in. He's not going to get a kill, but what he does get is space as the spike goes down. Luminosity here. still have the numbers advantage. You mentioned how off they were willing to play, knowing the ultimates that they had, and they do so to perfection so far. Stellar with the Stinger, able to take care of Sinatraa. But remember, Shahzam still has that Blade Storm, and Zombs might potentially go unchecked here. Shahzam looking to get one, gets a second, doesn't. Oh, Shahzam! Oh my gosh, Shahzam! You poke the bear, and he comes right back out. Sentinels with a statement to... Welcome back, dear friends. We have a few seconds, which of course means we're going to take a look at that one more time, because that's just how filthy of a play that was. I mean, Lex, what'd you see?
This round is all but over, and then Shahzam. This guy is so good at this game. 11 HP, finds the lineup, Doug, for the ace. That was absolutely nuts. Let's look at the second half. Luminosity on the attacking side now. They're down big. Dude, this is not a minor deficit. They're down real big. But we'll see what they can cook up. They want to go A. They want to go aggressive. But again, there's a nuisance of a wall that just doesn't give them as much room to work with. Nice dink, too, by Sick. Oh, yeah. The damage is plentiful when you've got a frenzy in hand. The heal will come out, so I'm out of breath from watching that clip back, man, again. Like, oh, beautiful. But they are actually going to leave. I believe that's Thief at the top of A ramp as the lurk. Perhaps work back into a B split, Doug.
See, again, nobody's really home. I like this from Thief. So at that point, when you work your way back towards mid, you give yourself options to where you can pull off and go B, or if you feel good about what you're seeing A, that's where you go. But the thing is, Thief spotted and you know, he traded and he dealt some damage, so they cut noise again? Sentinels start to rotate away, and Luminosity just creep right in. They're going to get off a wall. That's going to block people from coming over, and they just leave, what's that, Sentinels and Zombs on the site by themselves?
Yeah, Shahzam with a huge opportunity to blow this up. There's one. Lacking some ammo, he dashes the wrong direction, but a Proto there shuts down any hopes for us. Ooh, actually Sick with the sniper frenzy, just tapping heads at range, deleting people, and now it's just Moose. 1v2, he's been here before. dapr collecting 2 of those final kills, and Sentinels. Wow, 11-2 now, collecting both pistols in this game, and I gotta be honest, they are all playing out of their minds in terms of reading this LG team, and I thought for a moment, like, LG had finally outmaneuvered them. This was a situation where, you know, getting wrapped at screens really had the potential after you kill Zombs and Shahzam to wrap that round up, but instead, LG dropping that pistol is it's not going to bode well for the potential of a comeback here, Doug, and I wonder whether or not, you know, we should at least think about beginning to talk about the next map, because, you know, actually, before I actually get down that rabbit hole, hey, we've got a Proto and Thief Deagles out on the board right now. Magic
never
can
a
happen.
sure thing. Yeah, never a sure thing when that's the case. And there you go. Thief gets one onto Sinatraa as the wall's going to go up from Sick. A little bit of heals as well as Luminosity fight for control of the middle of the map. They've spread themselves a bit. They've got something working towards B. As you see Moose on the tip of the spear. They still have a Proto across the middle of the map as well. Sentinels haven't fully rotated back towards B yet.
dapr hearing the burst of that Stinger means they're wary at least to the B-man presence, despite the fact that the camera hasn't spotted anybody just yet. Never mind. So one by one, Sentinels begins to creep their power over towards the Bravo site. And a B-male split perhaps coming in here in just a moment. Sentinels will be ready for it.
Sick gets info. He's going to get pushed off. But again, look at the patience. Look at the patience from Shahzam. Not fully convinced that that's where it is. And talk about patience. Look at Sick. dapr's going to get flashed up. He's still going to get the shots onto Dre. They're Sick on the flank. He sat in the smokes the entire time. So patient. And he is rewarded for that, as it is a virtue. Zom's able to get one as well, as Moose trying to blindly fire into the smoke and get something going. The clock continues to tick away. It's just Moose. He has no health left. You mentioned it, Lex. We may need to start talking about the next map here, because Sentinels are already at match point.
Oh yeah, it's not just the scoreline that's working against LG here. They're looking a little desperate with some of these plays that they're making, and there's just nothing being given from Sentinels. You know, at some point, in a lot of these series, even the ones that you and I have casted, there's been times and opportunities when, you know, a team that's trying to get back into the game is perhaps, you know, at a loss for what to do strategically. And the team that's ahead maybe over peaks a bit, starts feeling themselves, going for the frag movie highlight clips, and they give a round or two that maybe they otherwise shouldn't. But here we are, Sentinels playing, as you mentioned, patient, passive, reserved, and certainly in a you know, a strategic sense, decisive and sound mannerisms that are yielding some early kills for Sick there in mid. And as I say that, I'm praising their strategy. They maybe overextended there. 2 kills, 3 kills now, and now it's just Sentinels. Dapr actually pushed to B main, so has an opportunity to flank, but Sentinels now in a 1v3. Well, maybe they did overpeak a bit. And
yeah,
maybe I kind of premonitioned that a bit, and I apologize, but 1
yeah.
on 3. Maybe Zombs can bring this back for me, and I don't have to say that I cast or cursed another team.
I don't know that you even had as much to do with it necessarily, but that doesn't make you any less right about how that played out. And you're right, Zombs still has a chance at something here, but now that his position's been given away, I like that fake. I don't know if the Boy Dre even really bit a ton. Yeah, Moose, yeah, it didn't matter. You're absolutely right. He gets 3. Okay. At this point, when you, again, you have the background, you've been in situations like this, Lex. When you're in a deficit like this, what do comms sound like? How do you approach the rounds? What's the mentality?
You know what? When you're down this much, it's a question of like, okay, is our game plan still going to be successful here? And the fact that they just won the previous round means, you know, you do not give up, okay? You definitely keep clawing back into this game with anything you can. And if nothing else, you fight for your own confidence and you keep playing, you know, with all of your energy and heart to keep your own mental up, all right? I don't know, on map 1, you know, it's split. It's not a map that you probably ever should be favored against Sentinels in the first place, you know, despite whatever happened in previous matchups. You know, bottom line is, mentally, you are not even thinking about the scoreline right now. You're playing it round by round, take it one gunfight at a time, 1 round at a time, and if you have a chance to come back in this game, great. But absolutely, like, you know, the IGL aspect of it, and maybe at least at some level, you know, you want to make sure that Sentinels isn't feeling overconfident against you. You know, you don't want these guys running it down mid against you to close this game out. You don't want, you know, a dry peeking Sage with the Phantom to ace you at top mid to close the map out. You want to have Sentinels starting to doubt themselves a bit here. So every round that you can take away before, you know, the inevitable happens will be a good thing. Now the A push is coming in from LG. Might be able to get this spike down before any contact is made. Actually, damage being exchanged there from Scream.
Oh, okay. Big kill early on. Them not clearing ramps. All right, Zombs trades it back out. Moose still there, still causing problems. Sentinels just down to 2. The spike goes down. As Sentinels, they have a chance here as they try to retake this. Sick gets 1. Yeah, he's going to be able to equalize things, drop things down to a 3v3. As you imagine, things just went from maybe possible for Luminosity to significantly more difficult. But your boy Dre drops him right back. Sick able to trade him out, but your boy Dre gets another one as it's just down to Dapr. He doesn't have any armor either. You imagine at this point he just kind of cuts his losses, maybe tries to get away with this thing. But again, with the confidence that they've been playing with, why the heck not? Maybe get an exit on the way out. He spots him. He's going to drop. Stellar takes him out. Lex, I'll say this, and you were talking about this earlier. I'm almost surprised at this point, to be honest with you, with how confident Sentinels have played, with how big of a lead they have, with the statement that they made in the first half, that they haven't done something like full send mid to close out the map, right? Like, we have rounds we can lose, right? I'm almost surprised I haven't seen that yet.
And I think maybe, you know, once or twice we've seen some overpeaks, but yeah, you're right. I think Sentinels knows, you know, how dangerous LG can be, and certainly LG, I think a couple times had, you know, come back against opponents throughout this tournament in a big way. So, you know, I'm saying that this is almost a far-gone conclusion. However, you know, this is a very, you know, momentum-based game, but very streaky game where, you know, if Dre hits both these headshots, suddenly maybe you get a free bomb site. No, I don't know. The fact is, you've got plenty of chances here to come back if you're LG, and I think Sentinels know that, and they don't want to squander, you know, this beautiful lead that they've built themselves and start feeling bad about something that they don't need to. And Moose sparring with
here.
3, he finds 2, and a low HP Sinatra's pressing the issue, but Moose wise to it, falls, gets bailed out by Dre, and that's a beautiful, beautiful recovery from a bit of an awkward exchange there at B main.
Yeah, and that wasn't probably not to the same degree that we've been talking about that, but that was Sentinels like, yeah, man, I'm gonna stick it to you. I'm gonna force you off this and see if we can get anything going. But it was very well handled by Luminosity as they have full numbers advantage and they managed to get the spike down. Although Shazam with the Blade Storm, he is down to 61 health, so he certainly isn't healthy by any means. But see if he can do anything here. The Frenzy also in the hands of zombs. So there's a chance, and that's certainly, that's box number 1, right? You check that bad boy off the list as you try to get something going, but it's not going to be much further down that list as your boy Dre and a Proto get another round for Luminosity that gets them to 5.
And hey, you know, I didn't see it, but if 1 or 2 players off of LG, off that attack side, you know, maybe haven't felt like they've gotten into the game much, haven't had an opportunity to shoot many heads, well, you know, these are what these rounds are, where they're feel-good rounds at this point, where you're not even thinking about winning this map if you're LG. You're thinking about every single instance, every single round, like I was mentioning. And I think, you know, Sentinels there at the end going for it. They just want to keep the economy in check for LG, deny that kind of comeback from happening. But here's the first test, is dealing with the operator of Shazam, where, you know, he's been hot at various times today, and certainly in this game as well. He'll get found out, but he will go for the repeat, Doug.
Again, confidence, man. You've got the confidence. He's going to get smoked off, and he's going to retreat back towards safety, back by A. Meanwhile, Luminosity gladly take the space that he gave up as they work their way up towards the middle. Keep an eye on a Proto as well on the other side by A, just making noise, right? Look at how they bait out that Sage wall. He threw a Cypher, he threw a trip, or excuse me, a cage. What am I saying? He threw a cage. He had the camera up there as well, and that was just enough for Sick to say, okay, this may be a hit, throw that wall up.
And he's managed to draw out 2 other rotators, you know, with that. There's 3 players from Sentinels over here towards A, but, you know, look at the minimap right now. There are 4 players from LG basically ready and willing to make this B-split a reality, and I wonder whether or not a Proto is doing just enough with all this presence that you're bringing up. You know, is he keeping them honest? Is he keeping them home at A? Because if it is the case that this is going to be a B-split, Sinatra's about to catch heat, and he's alone right now.
That's the trigger, but it was nicely sidestepped by Sinatraa. The Lear's going to be there as well. So far, nothing doing, but even with both of those missing, Thief is able to get the pick. Dapr, though, in a great spot. Don't know that he's checked. Yes, he is. Your boy Dre takes him out. Sentinels just down to 3 members left. The thing for Luminosity is you've got 10 seconds. You've got to go. They're going to get the spike down. They're going to wall off the defender's side. Sentinels don't even seem to want any of the heat as they're just going to hang out over by A. Luminosity should take another round here.
I wonder what the read was. And that may be... maybe just a gut call coming out from Sentinels. Maybe it's something that they've seen before, some kind of an anti-strat where, okay, a Proto's making this early presence, we throw the wall up, they'll wait and hit A, but they didn't even move. And it was, like I said, it was just Sinatraa up there at B Heaven. Dapr was close, but not in a position to refrag anything by any means. So Zombs keeping the money honest will be Zombs and perhaps Shazam here. This is the first one, but the LG economy is ever growing. And as these rounds slowly ebb the way opposite of Sentinels, you know, not only are we talking about economy here, okay, Sick does get that one. You don't hate it. But as we're talking about the economy kind of growing, you know, ever so slightly, round by round towards LG, check out the ults. You've got a Showstopper. You've got an Empress that you know, may not be a round differential thing, but, you know, you could work in a from the shadows into an execute. There's a lot of different options here that, you know, otherwise, you know, had you lost the game a few rounds ago, we wouldn't even be discussing. But as these guys kind of gain confidence, as they continue to hit their shots, you know, the heat that we keep talking about from Sentinels, that warm-up series that really got them primed, I think, for this one, starting to matter less and less as LG really is stepping it up. But a Proto, that's actually a huge kill over there at the top of the A ramp. Sage falls, and this A default, being deadly is something that Sentinels is clearly worried about. Still 2 players over here.
Yep. Yeah, again, a proto going big there. And the thing for Sentinels, too, is they have a couple of players that are lighter buys. You see Sinatraa, there's one of them. He's only got a Spectre. So they're starting to feel some of the pressure of how the last few rounds have gone, at least from a financial perspective. Your boy Dre with the showstopper. Once again, creates some space, but not enough to land the kill. Meanwhile, dappr's still hanging out down low. They hear that wall going up. They can commit to it there. The smokes are going to be coming out too. Keep an eye on Moose. But dapr from down low, able to get one, but there's Moose on that flank, able to take care of Shahzam. Your boy Dre gets in on the action as well. It's just down to Zombs in a 1v4. Once again, he's going to save, especially given some of that financial conversation we just had. Luminosity continue to chip away.
Yeah, and leading into this next round, you'll have Showstopper on Sinatraa. So I imagine that LG's line of thought is, okay, we've ended B several times in a row now. Wouldn't be surprised if they tried to fold this up into an A exec of some sort or end A. And I bring that up because, I mean, first of all, Doug, you remember when this was 12-2? Remember just a few minutes ago, we were like, oh, let's start talking about the next map. The reality is, Sentinels, you know, keeping this gun will be very helpful, I think, to them. But
yeah,
not having an economy to kind of back up into, you're going to need to use the ults as appropriately as possible. And Sinatraa, I hate to bring this up, but hasn't really found his mark with the showstopper that often, if at all, in this series. So, you know, there's not a whole lot that I can say about Sentinel's defense that is going to shine hope on stopping this comeback right here. That said, Judge, a couple stingers. You're going to keep the Phantom and half buy into this. I like this call from Sentinels, of course, but it's going to be a tricky round, I think, for LG to handle. Not only you have that threat at B Heaven, if Sinatra's going to be there, which he is, but you've got, you know, close range, strange weaponry that can make this even more unusual, right? That you don't want to get caught up on some weird crossfire where you're committing 5 players into a meat grinder. But Proto with this A presence early on may be the difference maker if he doesn't see anybody over here.
Well, it has been so far, but for Luminosity, as fun of an emotional roller coaster as this has been for the last 5 rounds, the truth of the matter is they have to play perfect Valorant the rest of the way. The Lear's there. They're going to swing around. Zombs gets caught with his proverbial pants down as your boy Dre takes him out. They're going to take that space. They're going to work their way in through Roast back towards A, but keep an eye on dapr on the swing. He's going to drop. Your boy Dre sniffs him out, takes him out. Shahzam drops as well. This seems like another round that's going to go in favor of Luminosity. 3 for Dre, just down to Sick. Now, Sick has, I believe, he's still leading the frags for Sentinels, but he might pile one more on there. He's still not going to be enough for the clutch. Luminosity get to 8. Then that's 6 rounds in a row.
Oof, that really looked scary for a moment, considering that Paranoia was primed and ready to help out 3 players from Male. And the fact that they just walked on by with no trouble at all, that's huge. That was a cute little peek there from Sinatraa and Sick. They only get 2 for their troubles. And yeah, as you said, Sick, actually, look at the scoreboard. He's 24-11. Talk about a battle stage, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know, I feel like an idiot now, but look at the comeback that has come out of LG. 6 rounds straight. Sentinels with no answer. And they do have Res, they do have Showstopper. This is far from a, you know, don't call it a comeback moment, but like you said, they got to play perfect Valorant from here on out, and that suddenly becomes pressure that wasn't here just a few rounds ago. So I wonder whether or not Sentinels maybe talked things over during that eco, maybe has a plan coming forward, because this is going to be an A hit coming out from LG.
It's going to be an A hit.
They're getting mid-info.
Yeah, the showstopper's on the other side. Now, if dapr continues to move forward, like you said, they're going to understand that the hit isn't B. And you already see Shahzam start to rotate over. Sinatra's going to follow suit as well. It's going to be a foot race onto this A site. Alberto's already getting slowed down. Great use of utility by Sick, understanding where he's going to be coming from. There's Sinatraa with the showstopper, trying to blast back his way across. Not going to connect onto anything. But again, they're right at the doorstep. This is going to be a bloodbath. The wall's gone up. Up in Heaven is Sick again with the patience in the smokes. We've seen him do this before. He swings, he gets one, looking for the second. No! As he gets taken out, but Shahzam with the op gets one. There's that res from Stellar
20
to
seconds.
keep the numbers in advantage in favor of Luminosity, but Sinatra's there. A Proto goes in aggressively. Zombs there, one. Zombs there, not able to get the second. Sentinels just down to dapr. 10 seconds left. Stellar's gonna get the spike down. A 1v2, they saw him drop. He's down to 2 health left. He's gonna get taken out with the classic as Moose gets 3. Lex, that's a huge round for Luminosity, not just because of the comeback, not just because of the storyline that's there, but because Sentinels financially are hurting.
Oh yeah, they are almost broke at this point. You're gonna see a stinger buy come out, but you know, they got rid of the showstopper. Sick had his res ready, but was all the way out on that balcony, was forced to basically make a play over at A main. But LG had the right read, okay? You didn't want to deal with, you know, rocket in your face over at mailroom, so let's go back towards A, all right? They reset. And even with that information that Sentinels had, you know, LG just patiently took the site. Really impressive stuff out of them and Sinatraa. Oh my goodness.
Here's the send. Here's the send, but Sinatraa swings with 11 health. It gets traded out, but Stellar does drop. A Proto's there to take care of Sick. And again, Luminosity with numbers advantage. This is a lighter buy for Sentinels, as we mentioned. But with them being on match point, every round is razor's edge. shahzam gets a good bit of info there and deals a ton of damage. Lets dapr know, hey baby, they're coming your way.
And this nade from Dre is going to clear him out quickly. We've seen that a few times. That nade is like a surefire kill for anybody awaiting hell. And a Proto struggling a bit with the stinger of shahzam, but he will silence him quickly. Now another spike plant coming out for LG, and somebody say come back. This is looking like a 12-10 situation where, you know, Sentinels didn't overbuy into this round, thankfully, so I think they're going to all have full rifles. What I don't know about is whether or not they saved for an operator. We'll find that out soon, but, you know, that said, LG is doing what LG does, and this is why continuously, you know, you see Reddit threads, you see Twitch chat, people are asking why is LG regarded as a top team now? Well, here it is, guys. This is their ability to come back, able to take games and turn them on their head to the point where they almost looked outclassed through a good portion of this game. I don't think that's crazy of me to say, considering it was 12-2 at one point, Doug.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're absolutely right, but something clicked, right? And Luminosity, they've been perfect, right? They've been perfect for the last 8 rounds. They've handled rifle rounds. They've handled ultimates from Sentinels. They've handled everything. And the kicker is they're doing this on the attacking side, right? When we first saw Luminosity really come to fruition, really make a statement, it was with how impressive their retakes are on the defending side. But for them to do this here into the hot-handed Sentinels that were destroying Luminosity early on is just so dang impressive.
Oh, yeah. And looks like LG kind of like into another timid default, slowly going to work it out. Obviously, they're behind a slow orb, so slow is a little bit of an understatement, but regardless, Thief doing his normal bit over here at mid, supported by some teammates, and Dre does have the showstopper in hand, so, you know, Proto's going to be over. Ooh, and that's a nice kill from Sick to start things out, and he, of course, has Sage Heal available to him, so despite the damage being traded back and forth, he just put his team in a winning situation here, Doug.
I think this is the first time they've had the numbers advantage in the last 8 rounds. Yeah, I know. It's been... My memory serves me right. Yeah, certainly. So we'll see Luminosity on the back foot for the first time in a long time. We'll see how they play this out. There wasn't a cheeky kill over in B. All right, here we go. Here's the showstopper. Your boy Dre uses it, doesn't connect onto anyone, but pushes them back and creates some space. Allows them enough time to get onto the site and keep a close eye on the Cypher. He's going to get a chance at shahzam. dapr drops. Sinatraa drops as well. Zombs does, as dapr up on top. He's able to get one. A 3v2. Make that a 2v2. It's just down to Sick again. Luminosity have handled this so well. He's got a res, though, so he's got a chance at something. He might be able to equalize this. That's a big kill. Sick is able to get 3. That should give numbers advantage over to Sentinels. There's the res. On to shahzam. It's just down to Dre. Dre able to get 1. Dre in a 1v1 here, but he's so dang weak. Sick comes out clutch. The comeback dream is over. Sentinels take map 1.
Oh, my goodness. That whole round had me screaming internally, Doug. There was so many back and forth scenarios that could have gone either way. Stellar picked up 2 on the site. Sick had an answer of his own, found 2. Then he comes out with the res, turns it into a 2. And if they do it against their own map pick here, or sorry, LG's map pick, you know, that's I'll give them that respect
baby.
for sure.
Yep. Yeah. That's a statement. Now, real quick, I need to draw attention to this. I'm doing some very quick research on the fly. Yeah. Sick has been playing Breach on this map. When we saw Sentinels play Gen G, I believe it was yesterday, he played the Phoenix, which is what we're seeing now. But the last time they played, he's been playing the Breach. More of the recent history has that. So you wonder, with as good as Sick has been playing, whether or not that's kind of lending their hand into it a bit. He's able to get the opening pick. Dre trades it out, and once again, it's the frenzy meta. But sure enough, it's shahzam with the Ghost, who's able to get 2 early on.
Nice Ghost headshots. A little rare, considering we've seen 5 frenzies every pistol. And there's Sinatraa dropping into hell and collecting 1 on a Thief, 2 on a Moose. That'll wrap it up. Sentinels taking that's their 3rd pistol in the day, right? They have not.
Yeah, I believe so.
Or, not on the day necessarily, but in this series, that is 3 out of 3 pistols so far. LG, who I believe, you know, had the luxury of first pistol wins going their way the last time these 2 teams met. So for LG now, going into your map pick, you lose the first pistol, but you're on attack side. You know, there's worse situations you could be in, like a 12-2 split deficit, I guess. And I think, you know, you can't read too much into this. And I love the point you brought up about Sick moving off of the Breach to a Phoenix. That might just be like, hey, guys, I'm feeling it. We don't really use the Breach right, or we haven't, like, stratted out how we can use them more effectively. Like, let me just go frag. And already up 1-0. The only risk that Dre immediately collects 1 on a shahzam, as I'm saying, there's no risk real here for Sentinels. But nevertheless, LG still on pistols. Still going to be up against the Ares of Sinatraa, who, the LMG warrior himself, is one of the most terrifying players in the game, I think, when he has one of those things in his hand. So, clean eco from Sentinels here, Doug. And, you know, when we talk about Sentinels being able to, you know, take a map, or take not just one map, but take the series against LG, both in the pregame and just before this map began, kind of highlighted that, like, hey, LG is confident on this map. They're very good on it. And Sentinels taking a 2-0 lead on defense means a lot in the terms of, you know, if they win this bonus, you could be looking at a situation where they create a cushion for themselves and are a lot less, you know, risk averse when it comes to playing their defender side, which could be scary. See how LG responds here in the first gun round, though.
Yeah, I like them taking some of the space up across the middle. They do have that tripwire. That's common. When you'll see teams on the defending side, if they don't post up someone there, they'll drop something, an alarm bot, a trap wire, something there to give them some info, and they don't feel the same need, the same pressure to play that as tightly. You see him prepping for that dart. It actually comes in behind him. He is able to clear it out anyway. Sinatraa, the turret, man, able to get 1 already onto a proto. Dapr is able to take care of Dre. There's that curveball coming out, as they're still trying to get something going. They're trying to get onto the site, and so far it seems to be working. Actually, I say that, excuse me, it's LG who dropped down to just Thief. He gets 1, and Sinatraa, we teed him up at the beginning. He gets the last kill to clean up the round for Sentinels. We mentioned, you did, actually, how important it would be for them to get that bonus win, to start to pile up some of that money. Lex, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and allowing Sentinels to build a bank, right there. Operator already out for shahzam, like, then you can kind of take some risks knowing, I mean, not necessarily on this round against an eco, but, you know, in the future gun rounds that'll come to pass, Sentinels is going to be able to be a little bit more frisky on the peaks that they're going to make, the picks they're going to take. And, you know, for LG, and kind of a curious round ending there, where both the B players are the only players left alive there for Sentinels. It was Sinatraa and Dapr, but zombs will take contact at A main. Does the flash come out from Sick? No, the curveball falls just behind. Thief gets the headshot onto zombs, and this eco has already gone awry for Sentinels. The operator already down for LG.
That's huge. That's going to give him so much, but Dapr and Sick have already gotten to chalk that up as another one for Dapr, but Stellar trades him out. LG just down 2 members left. You hear the run it back being used by Sick early on. We teed him up as someone who's feeling himself, already putting that ultimate into good use to get a kill, but a proto. He's running for the fences. He's going to be able to get that spike down on B. Sentinels, wisely, I mean, they can just wait. They can play that retake, understanding they have the numbers advantage, but a Proto should get that spike down and get the credits that come with it.
And the one thing that I will say about this situation that is really good for LG is I doubt, I don't know, that Sentinels is going to go and be able to cover that operator if a Proto is able to milk the clock a little bit here. Meaning if he stays alive, dances enough, it could happen so that economic damage, Doug.
He's also got the Sheriff, right? Like, we've seen this guy with the Sheriff. He's freaking automatic. It's an 800 credit operator in his hands. He's got a chance at something spicy. Very well played. Oh, no. Oh, the dart gives him away. No, he had the play, but the dart gives him away. Sinatraa gives him the business. Sick gets the defuse. Sentinels get to 4.
Wow, that had so many different, like, potential outcomes. In some universe, that scan does not quite land, and he wins that round.
Yeah.
But, and this is what I mentioned right there at the end, is no operator recovered. So that that previous economic cushion has, you know, with 3 kills, operator down, all but been depleted already. Well done to LG to, at least on this eco, make things real close.
Yeah, they did. It's going to be full rifles now for everyone.
We got 200 Furies and a bunch of other else to talk about.
Plenty of ultimates in the fold here. Again, Sentinels have come out of the gate swinging defensively. There's the first Hunter's Fury that's going to be used by Sinatraa. Trying to clear out some of the middle of the map, see if they can tag anyone over in tiles or in B main. Nothing doing quite yet. So that's one off the board, and that's the only one Sentinels had at their disposal at the beginning of the round. Meanwhile, Luminosity in a much more comfortable position as far as that goes.
Yeah, and Zombs did then send his paranoia through this A main early to kind of feign some A aggression, deny anybody in A main. And Moose, you know, reacting appropriately, gave that ground, and now is drone through A main. So the rotators, get to my point here, have come back from Sentinels, despite the fact that we're able to cheat over a little bit earlier, but there are 3 players over at that catwalk position from LG, poised and ready for the A split to come underway. Zombs helped out by the likes of Sinatraa here on the A bomb site, but no contact yet. Hunter's Fury comes out.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it was used as early as it was, but they're going to use that as potentially a way to try to create some space and get onto the site. Your boy Dre is going to be the first one there. Sentinels respecting it, just waiting for it to clear through and take a look at Shahzam. A Proto's on the flank, but Shahzam is on one as well. A Proto able to get one. A Proto sits it out and gets the second. Your boy Dre's able to take in on that as well. There's a neural theft. They have the crossfire. Sick takes care of him. Sick gets 2. LG still with the numbers advantage. There's that curveball to try to give him something going on here, but it looks like, I mean, they can certainly still do this thing. It's still winnable for Sentinels. Luminosity has the Empress, and they have the From the Shadows. Curveball coming out. They're going to swing. Thief able to get one. Stellar gets the last one. Luminosity are on the board.
Yeah, they invested a little bit into that. Like you said, kind of the Hunter's Fury was, you know, at least from our POV at the time, was like, huh, that's interesting. But only we could know that only Zombs and Sinatraa were kind of playing retake already. And what's interesting here, and this is it, this is what I was about to talk about, is, you know, you cleared all that space in the A-bomb site. You've almost confirmed that it's almost free. You burn the showstopper anyway, which, still not being critical here, but what that did do is all the players on Sentinels basically were pushed all the way back to where, you know, they're worried about a rocket coming in, and that just gives a Proto, you know, 6 feet of space to make that play happen. And suddenly, you know, LG's got their first round on the board, Doug. And, you know, if you're Sentinels, you know, you've kind of burned through a bunch of economy. You don't have the operator, and you certainly don't have any ultimates other than the Blade Storm to work with. So a lot of eyes will probably be on Shahzam here to see if he wants to use it, make something happen with it. Mid control, cat control already being yielded towards LG, and they have free reign, I guess, over here at middle. And Dre is so good with his raise utility. It's the second or third time I've seen dapr just get exploded by a raise grenade, Doug.
Yeah, he is excellent with the nades. He's excellent with the rifles. Not always as clean with the rest of Raze's kit, but when he does have to make a count with that, he does. Shahzam with the Blade Storm does take care of one, but Luminosity still have the advantage. They're funneling onto the site. They spot one player, and guess what? Thief is just around the corner. Sinatraa gets taken out. We'll see what Shahzam can do here in a 2v4. He's already gotten one with that Blade Storm. looking to see if he can get anything else going. Feeling out to see if he can find that Cypher cam. That Cloudburst is going to go up as well. Give him just enough time to swing. Looking for the second. No. Your boy Dre with the Vandal cleans it up, and Thief puts the finishing touches on that round to put up a second on the board for LG.
4 alive as well. Ooh, you might be down 4-2, but you're feeling good if you're LG because, you know, barring some situations that are similar maybe to the last split map where, you know, Sentinels maybe had the opportunity to maybe run away or win the bonus and collect a bunch of rounds to sit on early. LG's already in this game, and they are not in a position to be broken financially anytime soon. You have opportunity here to, you know, build back some of those ultimates, and there's no threats on the board as of yet. You have Sick who's one off of, you know, the run it back, but typically speaking on an eco, you wouldn't use that anyway. So,
right.
Actually, does he have a Phantom in his hands? How did I miss that? We'll find out here in a second. But, yep, he does. And maybe they're anticipating, okay, he's going to get one, pop his run it back, run it down.
Right.
But
yep.
Any moment now, I'll send this curveball out, maybe? Ooh, I want to see it.
Okay. There it is. It was teed up. It didn't land.
Yeah, that's perfect timing to bounce back out. And he gets the info that they're on catwalk, right? Yeah, it means like, okay, they're close. You fake this B hit, maybe. Force the rotations out of the saving team Sentinels, but haven't needed to yet. No movement. No information.
Some real estate gathered, though, from Luminosity as they've precariously made their way closer and closer up the middle of the map. Smoke going over towards A. Again, a cue that's where the play is. You see the paranoia coming out, and guess what, man? Nobody's home. It was a dummy. You bit. You took the bait, and they're going to funnel their way onto B. Sinatraa is there, but Sinatra's there alone. A paranoia of their own comes out. It doesn't connect onto anything. Sinatraa had a chance at something. He's going to drop. Stellar takes him out. Sentinels scrambling to get back onto that site. There's the Phantom in the hands of Sick that you mentioned earlier as it gets things down to a 4v4. Moose with the spike plant.
Yeah,
Luminosity with control.
Still kind of scary here for LG. This is very tricky position for Thief.
I mean, they're trapped. They're trapped, and even then, like, they might just be able to play for retakes, or they can just stick it to him, but a Proto's able to get 2 to drop things down to a 2v2. Make that one. It's Sick. He's gotten one. Sick has been out of his mind this series and looking for more. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Sick does it again.
That's what I'm talking about, man. They invest the Phantom. They take a little bit of a risk. Well, whatever went down up to that point where LG's able to outmaneuver Sentinels, okay? Talk about the dark cover going out at tree. You throw the rain up blind out, they shoot it, so you know right away, okay, our B split's good, it's money, let's hit it. Sinatraa even falls quickly. But I mean, when you're hitting your shots and you're Sick and you're feeling it, there's no way, you know exactly where a Proto is. He's got to take, you know, an aggressive peek against you, and he's ready for it. What a snap. Just deleting him.
And he played that well, right? Like the cam on the opposite side to force Sick to swing one way and have to come all the way back to land that shot. It was just so, like, a Proto played that well, right? And Sick just had an answer for it the entire time.
Yeah, fact is, right there, that's potentially something that we'll look back on right there. Momentum swing, confidence once again coursing through the veins of Sentinels as we see a Cypher wide swing from dapr that collects a headshot. Oh, another one off catwalk from shahzam. This is why when you give economic and, you know, call it morale, call it momentum, whatever, Sentinels is feeling themselves again, and that's so scary when they've got an operator in their hands, and certainly dapr's already up mid. Man, LG is going to give them another one, I think, Doug.
Yeah, but dapr doesn't have any armor. He's going to drop. Thief gets him. Sinatraa on the other side takes care of Moose. Luminosity looking to run the middle of the map here as Thief goes in aggressively against Sinatraa just on the other side of the wall. They have a decent idea. He gets wallbang. He gets taken out. Great comms, but shahzam, again, with the op, gives Sentinels almost security in this round, and Sick. Who else but Sick swinging around, taking care of Stellar at the end there to give them a 4-round lead. Sentinels, man, they're feeling it.
So smart. I mean, that rotation from shahzam to pick up that mid-arch position, knowing that, okay, Sinatra's probably trapped, but there's no way to honestly help him without an over-aggression off of catwalk, perhaps. So, you know, the rotations from Sentinels are perfect, despite dapr falling at top mid. However, like you gotta understand that if you're on the side of LG and you're feeling good after those, you know, 2-round wins, you get eco'd, Okay, and then the follow-up round, you're getting wide swung by dapr at B-man. You're getting peeked off, catwalk by Shahzam. There's a lot of threats on the table against LG right now, and they're going to need to give an answer, or else I could absolutely see a scenario in which Sentinels racks up more rounds and forces LG to have another comeback, man.
Yeah, but I mean, how much do you have left in the tank, right? After the comeback that you started to build up that comes a bit short, and the aggression with which Sentinels is playing, it's so difficult to deal with, but Stellar are able to take care of Sick there. That's going to give them open sight. They're going to get onto A entirely uncontested.
They know that there's at least two towards, or probably all three towards B. I don't know if Shahzam showed his presence, but this is a great read to just throw out the dark cover at door, get out onto the site, and hopefully put the spike down safely. But, up till now, it seemed like LG may have been out of control of this round as well, but Sentinels is responding in kind, 3-on-3. A Proto finds a headshot onto dapr to at least give them that advantage back, Doug, but 35 seconds, spike's going down at A.
What can Luminosity do? They have a couple of ultimates. They have the numbers advantage. They have guns. But do they have the positioning? Do they have it in them to take this round away? Sinatraa using that Hunter's Fury to try to clear someone out. Doesn't get a whole lot.
Yeah,
And the thing about Luminosity, they're just playing it so what, right? Like they're just waiting.
Yeah, I was gonna say all you really need to do is not peek Shahzam. But
Right.
don't worry about it, it'll fall into your crosshair. What a round from Stellar, man.
I mean, and like, we talk about momentum, we talk about confidence, a 4K for Stellar, that big round for Luminosity there, that's what they needed. That's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Right. And momentum swings aside, I could talk about that all day, but look at this bait and switch onto Sick. Sick, who is feeling himself, is hitting his shots, gets silenced, and Stellar takes that and says, okay, you're gonna try and push through my spawn for a second or third round in a row? Well, we're going to take your A bomb site and we're going to win the round. So 6-3 now, LG. Both teams on a full buy. Sam does have the operator in hand. You have a few ultimates to work with and already 5 players from LG. Showstopper gets popped, Doug, and here it is, an A player right away.
We're starting to see nice shot from Dre, man. We're starting to see defending teams respond to a showstopper similarly to how they have to respond to lockdown. In that they have to back up, right? Like they have to give space, and that gives the attacking team basically a bubble with which they can operate, and that is enough space for them to get onto the site and for them to get the spike down. Sentinels just down to 2 members left. Your boy Dre's already got 3, not able to get the 4th as Zombs takes care of them, but they still have what they want, right? They still have that numbers advantage. Sentinels trying to get back onto this site. You see that they haven't even fully committed. Yeah, dapr was never really there. He's just going to play for exits, see if he can get a couple of frags and hurt that economy from Luminosity. But Luminosity played that execute really well, right? They got the spike down. They're going to get it off, and they're going to get to 4 rounds.
Yeah, that was just Dre going absolutely massive. I mean, it's enough to, be the Raze player, pop your ult, and like you said, I thought a whole bunch of action was going to come flying out the second they exited A main. However, all it took was the showstopper getting popped for people to retreat, step away, and be like, okay, let's give them that space that you mentioned. And Shahzam just, it's unfortunate placement of yourself in that situation, catching the rocket, but some nice shots to follow that up from Dre really opened things up for LG in the round. And that was a coming off the back of B aggression, cat aggression from Sentinels means, okay, we're just going to take A main and we're going to go. And right now we already see an adjustment from Sentinels, which is like, okay, we can't just ignore the A site. Right. Like they're willing to come here now, and there's 3-4 players ready for it.
And mid, right? Like they understand they can't ignore mid anymore, and that's why Dre's so far up. Beef able to take care of Shahzam elsewhere on the map. Oh, but that's brutal. That's so brutal to deal with, especially when you don't have much as far as weaponry goes. That Empress can be so devastating, and we're seeing some of that play out already. Beef trying to land a couple shots onto Sinatraa, a little dance. Nice swing from dapr. Man, that was pretty.
Yeah, there's that Vandal coming into play. A little late, however, certainly it's not over yet. No spike plant as of yet. Proto's going to put that down. And with the L drone coming out of heaven, run it back, following it up. Ball short. Retake underway. Curveball out from Sick. And that recon dart's going to buy them another 5-10 seconds maybe. Allows Dre to get a favorable angle on Heaven. Sinatra's going to swing out and take one to the face, but Sick will deal it back towards Dre. A proto also falls, and now Sick leading a retake once again on A. Knows both players are in hell, and Stellar steps up to the plate, finds one, finds two, and LG, who just 2 or 3 rounds ago got ecoed and may have been on the ropes for allowing Sentinels a dominant half win, have drawn ever closer to a 6-6 scoreline, Doug, and well played to that LG kind of recovery. I thought dapr, holding on to that Vandal, Sick being confident enough to say, yo, let's go for this, let's pop our ults and hope for the best. Almost pans out.
Yep.
Stellar and Dre really kind of holding steady for the side of LG, and this is still a good half from both teams. This is definitely not one of those situations anymore where maybe you could paint the narrative or the situation where one team is somehow outperforming the other in a big way, because this is back and forth at this point, Doug. This is quality Valorant.
It is. And again, for us to be at this position, given how the first half had gone up until this point, I think it just speaks volumes to Luminosity's grit, right? And how, regardless of the deficit, they refuse to go away, and they still have an opportunity to knot us up at half here. Looks like they're going to take the ult back into the site. Oh. Dre's there. Dre with 2. The site's been cleared. They're going to have all the room they possibly want to work with as they push Sentinels away. The 100 Fury is going to be used from Moose to continue to clear on that space. There's Dre. Oh my gosh, Dre and shahzam with a couple of knives to the face as they take him out. But Luminosity still are comfortable. They're still okay. They still have control of the site. What can Sick do? He's been a madman this series, and he's got a chance to do even a little bit more, but he's gonna get spotted out. That dart was so good. Stellar takes him out. Zombs, oh my gosh, Zombs! That was filthy! shahzam gets in on it as well, but it's just down to him. 24 health too. He's got the blades, he's got a chance, he's got one. He dashes around looking for the second ring around the Rosie. He's running out of time. He's got to get onto the defuse. Thief plays it so well. He buys time, and he gets the round win.
Wow, what a clutch up from Thief. shahzam almost makes that happen. 6-6 at halftime, Doug. We got a barn burner on our hands.
2, and then Luminosity once again showed that they'll bend, but they won't break, as they bring us to 6 apiece at half. Now, Sentinels is going to be on the attacking side. Luminosity showed proficiency, but let's see what Sentinels can do. They flex, heavy frenzies, over by B, walking right into where 3 members of Luminosity are currently posted up.
I didn't see it, but shahzam was making some A presence over there, so he'll keep some rotations, prevent them at least from quickly going over there. However, camera spots the first. Proto will fall, though. Trading frags are both teams.
Left, right, left, right. I mean, it's just back and forth for both of them there. Sinatra's going to be able to get the spike down, as the remaining members of Luminosity that, as you called, shahzam kept entertained, now start to show up. But how do you flank the flankers? Your boy Dre swings on, takes care of dapr, but Sinatraa gets 3. shahzam gets the last. Sentinels win the pistol for what feels like the 26th time? I mean, I don't think they've dropped a pistol.
No, they are masters of the frenzy. And, my heart goes out to dapr for a moment there. And I know I may have laughed, but sometimes...
It was kind of funny.
Sometimes, Doug, you just don't get blessed by the RNG gods. Sometimes your bullet just goes, 4 or 5 feet beyond the target that you're aiming for. And despite the fact that, dapr's literally crouched, slowly tapping the frenzy as carefully as he can. And Dre's like, no! Just deletes the man. Oof. Another pistol round, though, for Sentinels, as you mentioned. And, if this... We're going to follow the trend of the last half, even. I think Sentinels went up like a 4-2 or something. 6-2.
Yeah.
Obviously it would be silly for me to try and directly compare them, but Sentinels feeling it now, finds the opening. dapr confidently takes lane and into the B site. Sinatraa follows up, and suddenly Spike should be going down here any minute as they regroup and recover the situation, which is, hey, we got a free bomb site here, boys.
Yeah, and it's not just the free bomb site, it's that they're playing further up, right? They're taking away opportunities for Luminosity to get onto that site. That hurt, right? Like, that did not feel good. Sinatraa cleans it up. Looking for the second. It's actually Sick who takes care of that. I love when teams are able to take site, and not just take the site and assume post plants, but to take away presence, take away opportunity from the team that's trying to retake to get back into that thing.
Oh, yeah. And I think this is, I don't want to say this is like a time to be worried or anything like that, but, you know, for LG, Sentinels so far, you know, from the caster standpoint, we've seen Sentinels really get going when they clean up, you know, bonus round, whatever, and they just start playing confidently, man.
Yep.
And considering, you know, the scoreline's still very close, it would be huge, I think, for Sentinels to come away with a bonus win here, but we'll see. There are both sections of the map. Sentinels playing in triplets and pairs. Shahzam and Sick falling away from a main after having cleared it just now. And that at least is going to keep all of LG guessing as to where they are on the map. And, well, actually, it looks like they're going to maybe reset towards mid, Doug. But
yeah, interesting that when Sentinels were pulling off of A main, like you said, they were also pulling off of B main at the same time. It just seems like there's a bit of maybe a crossing of paths and a crossing of cables and communication. But either way, they have made their way back over to B. It seems like that's where they want to go. I love Sick working his way up the middle of the map. No utility there, no anything, right? To give his position away, to let them know that they're coming, that paranoia is going to come out. And if there was any doubt before, now they know that that's where the hit's going to go. Shahzam dashes into his own cloudburst. He's able to close the door. Moose with the Vandal trying to anchor a Proto. Swings. A Proto with 3. Oh, baby! Moose gets one as well. Sentinel's just down to Sick. He gets cleaned up. Thief takes care of him. Luminosity get the first one of the half.
I don't think there's a better Ascent B hold, or at least not a scarier one, than LG's Defender's side B hold on Ascent. Like, a Proto is always delivering. It didn't matter what the odds are, how many SMGs are flying at him. He's just going to stay steady, stay on those stairs, and sure enough, there he is picking up 3 crispy kills. And, you know, you hope. I set the stage for, you know, if Sentinels comes away with a bonus round win, it could spell, you know, doom for LG. But you know what? They did their job. They held steady, and they didn't really lose many guns. Did they lose any at all? Like, I honestly didn't catch a kill, but one, perhaps,
I think so.
But Sick over here might just pop the run it back into an A execute in a moment, but Sentinels definitely has a lot of opportunity here to probe the A-bomb site, figure out whether or not this is going to be an accessible. Whoop, and there it is. Run it back comes out.
Oh, but so well played by Thief to mitigate that and to stay alive, right? Look at how Sentinels are responding to that. Forget it, guys. This isn't it. It's not going to work. Let's get out.
Yeah. Immediately recoiling and saying, hey, listen, let's reset before they, you know, take advantage of B-mid or mid. And, you know, you might have a scouting report in front of you that says, okay, a Proto doesn't like to flank. He doesn't like to push and B main. So you can expect that he's still there, right? That's a relatively simple read to make, but definitely have the numbers advantage. You know, most of LG is poised towards A, so Moose, a Proto, it's going to be on these guys right now to try and hold this B split, Doug.
And once again, Sentinels just, they play the map so well, right? We saw this when they got onto A. Look at dapr. The man's on a solo mission to cause problems just to be a nuisance. See if Stellar spots him. Yeah, Stellar spots him. Not able to land the shots, but it doesn't matter. Look at how the Sova's already starting to play over. Actually pulled right back, of course, as I said that, because of Proto. And Moose, my gosh, Moose already with 2. It's just down to Shahzam. He's weak. Certainly worse for wear. Luminosity tie us up at 8. Lex, baby, this map is not over.
No, it is certainly not. And dude, you picked it up. But Moose was even like about to start wandering away back towards A off of that dapr lurk, and instead he turns around, finds 2, helps Proto lock that bomb site down. And wow, what a performance so far in this half from LG, where, you know, I think part of the reason why LG can be so good on Ascent, and I prepped it up in the last round, but this B hold, even when they've been outmaneuvered, even when they've been kind of outpaced in the rotations, you know, despite the fact that there's 3 players facing you, like Moose and a Proto are both taking those fights very confidently. And that bodes well for the outlook and the rest of these rest of this half, but these rounds moving forward as Sentinels forced onto an eco, or maybe even a little bit of a investment in some stingers, but Proto will have to hold steady once more, finds 2.
Oh no. Oh no, Shahzam with 1 with the Blade Storm. You hear the Hunter's Fury was used as well. Stellar arrives. Stellar good for 1. They haven't gotten the spike down. It's just sitting harmlessly up there, but Shazam's already gotten 3. With that Blade Storm, he's only got 30 health left. Yeah, man, the tag was there. Sinatraa gets him. It's going to drop down to a 1v1. Shazam with the blades. Thief with the rifle. As Shazam's also only down to 30 health left, and they're both playing this so patiently. My gosh, they could sit here for the next 45 seconds and just wait it out. But we'll see if Shazam can potentially get the spike. He might be able to get out of here.
I got the spike.
Might be able to, and Thief
30
wise
seconds
to it,
left.
but hedging his bets on the possibility that Shazam either second guesses himself, or nope, he's going to commit towards A, and Thief probably has figured it out by now that, you know, either Shazam's giving him the runaround or he's straight up gone to the other spike location. He's going to go ahead and put it down. And he's low HP, so Shazam's not exactly in a situation where, you know, he can just play super safe, and I think he may even go for the fight here. No, okay, he's in hell, but this is a tense moment indeed, Doug.
The spike continues to tick away. You hear the footsteps giving away his position. Shazam surely knows where Thief is at this point. Waiting to see if he's going to drop down just on the other side. Thief wins the 1v1.
That's so smart. You know, I mentioned this, I think yesterday or 2 days ago to you, maybe. But, and I think you were the one who was nerding out over it a little bit, where like the players' mindsets in 1v1s, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like having the decision making that goes into that. Shazam plants for, you know, A main, plants for the door and tree and catwalk. And there's so many different plays that you could be making out of there. His thought process is like, okay, I'm low. I have my right click knives available to me. Okay, so why don't I just hide, play in hell? And I really think that was a good play from Shazam, but Thief just one step ahead there, acknowledging that that's a risk. Finds and secures the 1v1, and LG 3 straight now. Sentinels looking to answer, and that LG has a bunch of vaults available to them, but you know, collecting the orb has been a priority, I think, for Sentinels in a lot of these rounds, and certainly they're not going to shy away from that at A main here. And that owl drone coming out from Sinatraa is going to see that, well, might actually not see Thief.
Yeah, I think he managed to get away, hidden. But now that Lear, certainly, yeah, they know he's there. The smokes are going to come out as well to see if they can push Thief off. Between the molly, between the shock dart, between everything being thrown at him, the guy had no room to breathe, and he had to back away.
Yeah, so smart from Sinatraa. If he did spot with the owl drone, but I think he did, you know, they started throwing shock darts his direction and spamming the smoke. There's not a whole lot of like clean real estate for Thief, but Sinatra's so smart to just spam that at that angle. Love to see it. First pick going towards Sentinels, and you know, 40 seconds left on the clock, and they're still making a presence. Got to be here, right, Doug?
It has to be. There's the first ult. Your boy Dre with 2. Goose and Stellar get in on it as well. Not able to land the third, but Shazam is alone in a 1v3. Should be able to get the spike. Gonna try to close the door as well. Reload. Bide him some time. Reset things a little bit. He's not super weak, but he's certainly not in a great spot. You see some of those shock darts come out. Here we go. Shazam with 1. Dashes in. Looking for more. They've got to challenge him. Not able to get the second. A proto was there. Very clean shots. They're going to get the defuse. Luminosity are going to get to 10.
Wow. NT there from Shazam, but yeah, this is a I don't want to say this is an LG takeaway round, but you know, that was a pretty big opportunity, I think, you know, leading the first entry, picking up the first kill with Sentinels. First time I think in a while that we've seen that, and Dre just snapping some heads over at A main from that hell position. Proto falling out, cleaning things up after the trade, and 10-8. Still definitely not a runaway yet, as I hinted at, but you gotta wonder,
right here,
you know, if your Sentinels at this point, I don't see any weaknesses out of LG.
Oh,
and
man,
I don't know.
Well, we talked about this in the last map. Their defensive side is so good, right? On split, obviously they're showing they can roll with them on ascent as well. They have 4 ultimates to work with. You're right. I just don't know at this point what you expose, right? Even in the middle of the map, they have some of that covered. They're playing around each other so well.
Yeah, and some damage going on to Thief. He gets dinked there, but No kill collected from Sentinels yet. And I think Stellar may be aware of these guys at mid, but I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. They're going to back off and probably move back towards Catwalk as it is. For a moment, I was a bit worried that market split would come to fruition at the poor time. Regardless, Dre is about to catch some heat from 3 at Cat. And once he does, you know, the jig will be up. The A play will be underway. Doug, here it comes.
Oh, Dre. Oh, Dre. Dre doesn't even get a chance, man. Shahzam just cleans him up before he even fires the gun. Thief, that's big. He was able to heal up a little bit with that first pick, not able to get the second. Neural theft is going to be used. Stellar is just trapped, man. They know where he is, but he gets it through the flash anyway, looking for the second. Zombs takes care of him. Sentinels with the numbers advantage. The spike is still down, right? Shahzam's already got 3. It's just down to a proto.
I think they put him up here too.
Yeah, and there was no time, right? Like Shahzam gets 4. They are able to stop some of that bleeding and reduce the gap to 1.
Let's go, Sentinels. Okay, 2 kind of iffy rounds, I guess, in a row where Shahzam's almost able to clutch. He's pissed about it. He opens up with 4 kills in a big round to keep this, you know, this lead that LG has to as close a margin as possible. You know, 10-9, they are still winning, but that was... I tossed it to you without enough time to set it up, man. But Dre was sitting there at tree with his showstopper available, and unfortunately, he was playing too passive of an angle to react in time. But there was the opportunity there for maybe spotting them, popping the ult, and denying that push altogether. Nevertheless, Sentinels, well done. Put a round on the board and break that round-winning streak of LG.
Yeah, but what else can they do, right? Luminosity still have 3 notable ultimates to work with. Sentinels have equalized that with 3 of their own. We'll see if Sick decides to use that, run it back to create some space and try to ult onto the site. He might do so actually here in tree. Potentially pull some resources over. You already see the spike in Shahzam's hands going by B. So we'll see how they play this out.
Well, okay, so Sinatraa was able, I was a little unsure whether or not he was going to be able to do without taking a ton of damage. He does not. He grabs the ultimate orb inside of B main and has his Hunter's Fury now. So probably going to pop his Aladrone and look for a pick with it as soon as his teammates arrive. Any moment now, Doug.
Or the dart. There's the dart. There's the run it back. Where's the Hunter's Fury? He's going to get trap wired up. Going to get slowed down. Sick able to get 1. Again, the Hunter's Fury still in his back pocket of Proto, trying to anchor things down, but he's going to get taken out at the hands of Sinatraa. The spike should follow shortly after, but dapr not able to really make an impact there as your boy Dre takes care of him. Drops things down to a 3v3. We'll see what Thief can do. There's the run it back, or excuse me, the showstopper. And once again, your boy Dre gets ripped from the skies at the hands of Shahzam. The Empress was there. It doesn't matter. as Sick gets in on it as well. It's just down to Stellar. It doesn't matter. Shahzam takes care of him. We're knotted up at 10 apiece.
If there's any statistic nerds in chat, if we could go ahead and get, I don't know, the stats for showstopper success rates on the day, because I have seen, you know, a couple kills, but so many times where that rocket's getting pulled out, and before you know it, you know, that beautiful opportunity, that frag that you think you've got is already gone. And Dre, heartbreaking to see it again and again out of, you know, it was Sinatraa in the last map, Dre in the last map, and now Dre again here where, you know, his raise has been solid, his performance has been phenomenal, but just some heartbreaking L's being taken when you've got that ultimate out. Now LG, who built up a really big bank account earlier on in this half, has now been reduced down to sheriffs.
With that comes aggression, man. They just run it right down the middle. Your boy Dre gets 1 with a bulldog. Thief with that sheriff that you mentioned, swinging around, dancing around the main. They're trying just on the other side of the smokes. They have a decent idea of where they are. As soon as that smoke goes down, this thing has the opportunity to explode. There's another smoke going up. The boy Dre on the swing, patiently waiting as another smoke follows up. There's just so much denial of information here.
Yeah, and you got to be real uncomfortable if you're LG, but Moose has pushed through a main to relieve a bit of that. So this dapr regroup from top mid may be the focal point of this map round. And if Moose can get this one.
Oh, nice. That's big, man. That gives them so much more room to work with. That gives them room to breathe, right? And for Sentinels, they're still trying to work their way into the middle of the map. But a great crossfire setup from Dre and Thief, really kind of negating that, right? You're walking into your death sentence. There's a great paranoia. There's that crossfire, but Sentinels somehow handle it just fine as Thief and your boy Dre both drop.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter because they've bought so much time. 15 seconds left. All Moose has to do is stop the bomb plant and they win. Ooh, but they know where he is. Dart goes through. He finds the first. 4 seconds left. He's got to force the plant. Sinatraa can't win the round basically at this point, but might be able to get away with this Phantom. No, he cannot. A Proto was going to collect that off this corpse. Wow, what a play from LG, and you're right. You know, they were on a broken buy more or less. You had a couple Bulldogs. You had a Stinger in hand and Moose. And then otherwise you had some Sheriffs to work with, but really getting caught off guard at top mid kind of sealed the fate of this round. And, you know, even Thief, I think he got sniffed out over there at, you know, mid at one point, but it didn't matter. They just kept baiting, kept denying the exit out of checkers. And Sentinels was struggling to even get the spike to the site at any point in that round. And then right there at the end, you saw Sinatraa, 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock. Can't be done. LG, 11 rounds now, Doug. This is as close as we expected, I think. But definitely not over, and certainly not in a clear favor for either team yet.
No, certainly not the case. Sentinels here, they were able to clear out some of that utility in mid, and they spotted where Moose was. So they have enough info, right? And if there's any doubt, that should certainly do it. As Stellar's going to get spotted. Sorry, I said Moose, it was Stellar. Stellar gets cleaned up at the hands of Zombs, but Dre goes in aggressive. He gets one, but shahzam sends him right back. Sentinels with the numbers advantage. They should have easy access onto the site as well, especially now that Thief is no longer in the fold. A Proto trying to anchor down from the back. A great one-way setup there, but the one-way is he's going to need a lot more than that. What he needs is Moose. Moose gets one. shahzam trades it out of Proto in a 1v3. We've seen him in situations like this, understanding that the gig is up, man. They're getting the heck out, and shahzam's, or excuse me, a Proto's trying to follow, but shahzam's just on the other side. The dart's there, so he's been caught. shahzam gets 3. Sentinels knotted up at 11.
That is such a frequent theme, I feel like, where LG is even numbers, and somehow on the B split, your B anchor is the only player left alive, somehow trying to claw back into the round, but there was nothing to be done there at that point. Once Moose falls, taking that duel towards Switch. Oof. Proto's left all alone, and Doug, look at this financial situation for LG. You're basically playing, you know, if you're going to force into this at any capacity, basically playing to win the round, right? And you got maybe a couple ults to work with, but aside from the Hunter's Fury, there's nothing that's going to net you any frags, so tough spot now for LG to be in.
Oh, and Moose using that Hunter's Fury early, and it's paying off as he gets on to dapr, and I think he tagged up. Yeah, he tagged up one more, and that's info, right? Because they also peeked out across bottom cat at the beginning, realized that nobody's home. That should have been enough of a cue for him to be able to use that Hunter's Fury there, and it pays off. Now they have decent idea, following up with that on where they are. The run back is going to be used. Sick, however, making it pay off as he gets one. He's going to get the door down as well. Sick gets another one. The guy's automatic.
Wow, what a run it back from Sick. You know, I was about to give Moose a lot of praise for putting them up in numbers, but quickly that's been diminished, depleted, and now it's a okay. Talk about impact frags. Stops that spike plant. Oh, another kill for LG.
Oh man, this has gone sideways for Sentinel so fast. A Proto with 3. Luminosity at match point. They're looking to extend the series and get us to a 3rd map.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't even sure. Proto seemed to be hesitating, but I think once that shock dart kill came out, right? Like you knew that. Okay, well then that would mean that nobody's watching this door angle, and he just waltzes right in, collects all 3 of the last kills. You know, a little bit unsupported, but it doesn't matter. He had the read, he had the knowledge, and he knew. All right, these are just straight up gunfights for me if I go in there and win. Here it is, and LG, who I painted the picture as being desperate in the last round. Now the tables have turned, and Sentinels need to push this OT in this last round, Doug.
They want to avoid Icebox. This is where they do it. They're going in hot, they're going in aggressive, they're going in with the Blade Storm. And who else but your boy Dre is the first point of contact. A great cage there. As the Neural Theft is going to, excuse me, the Hunter Fury is going to be used from Sinatraa. But Thief, Moose, they're able to pick them apart. Moose gets another one. It's just down to Sinatraa. Just on the cusp, the precipice of taking us to map 3. Sinatraa gets cleaned up. Thief with 3K. Ladies and gents, we're going to Icebox.
Wow. What? I mean, listen, after we watched Split, there shouldn't have been a doubt in our minds that if LG at any point in that game had to maybe come back or fight through some adversity, and that's something that you've highlighted a few times. Well, 13-11 final score. A few different times in that match, maybe sent confident and ultimately winning a lot of the duels that Shahzam was giving him.
Yep.
You know, kind of harkened back to it earlier, but a lot of dry peeking, a lot of ego challenges that, you know, sometimes it can be the difference maker and you win, sometimes you lose. And I think that might be something that we keep an eye on, you know, whenever these two teams battle it up and tee off for A. But already we're into the pistol here. Frenzies, of course, for Sentinels. And they're doing this, you know, it's obviously not the same for every map, Doug, but they do like to go slow, feel the map out at times, and certainly LG is doing the same. So retake on A is likely to be the name of the game.
Man, the second that dart shot out, it's like ants running for it on the minimap. You see them start to congregate back across the site. The dash across from Shahzam gets absolutely punished out of Proto. Thief gets behind him. Oh my gosh. He spotted them walking by. He's able to get two. Sinatraa trades one out. Sinatraa trades a second out as things drop to a 3v3. Give the man 3 on the Reyna. Not going to be lighting up the kill feed anymore as your boy Dre puts a stop to the fire that had blossomed. Now, Luminosity have the numbers advantage. They're up 1. The spike is down on the site as Sentinels is just, oh my gosh, and freaking Zombs has, what, negative health? He's got 10 health to work with here. He has time, but if he decides to pull out, he's going to be walking right into them. You almost have to commit to it here because there's really no exit. There's no time, and that's just going to give them the perfect opportunity to swing into him. Your boy Dre takes him out. Luminosity win the first pistol of the series.
What a play from... Yeah, I think you're right, actually. This is the first pistol they won in the series. Thief. What? That was like 200 IQ smoke dance right there. And he comes away with 2 crisp ghost taps and almost whips around and takes out Sinatraa, who leads me to my next point. Is there anything, Doug, more terrifying than an overhealed frenzy flanking you? Like, 3 different people stepped up to the plate to fight Sinatraa, and all of them fell. For good reason, too. The man was on a tear. And already, right away, LG going for aggression at A main. You know, Sentinels came towards A quite a few times the last time that we saw these teams play, and I think LG might have prepared some aggression to make sure that they shut some of this down. And right away, like I said, Dre's finding his 3rd. It's just sick. Gonna maybe grab that stinger, but no, Dre's grabbing his 4th, and rock solid hold from LG to start things out here, Doug.
You mentioned... Is there anything more terrifying than a overhealed frenzy? No, man. And that's like, that's one of the... A Reyna in a pistol round is devastating, right? Can be devastating. And that's it. We saw it there, even with the fancy footwork from Thief trying to dance around and give himself some space to play in and out of the smokes and get the kills. Sinatraa was just able to... all of that momentum, all of that advantage that they had built, he just took it all back.
Take flight.
Indeed. Thief going for this orb early on. 1 off from his Blade Storm.
Already.
And obviously, Doug, this is a bonus, right? And we've talked about the bonus quite a bit and how it's impacted these teams in the series. And LG found their firm footing with a bonus win in the last game. Let's see if they can do it again. The Paranoid comes out a bit early, so Sinatraa is unfazed. Up to 410 position, and the press comes in. Thief will be the first to fall from dapr. Surely they put the spike down here in the next few seconds.
Yeah, they have the room. Luminosity trying to fight their way back in. Of course, I say I have the room. They have the room, and dapr instantly gets taken out. They're also going to get info on where the last few remaining members are, but Sinatraa once again, man. He's already got 2. Sentinels rip it away. They get on the site. They get the spike down. They get everything they want.
Okay. Nice play from Sentinels. Just understanding, like, hey, we're going to telegraph this. We don't care if you're here. Let's brawl it out, okay? And you guys can sit there and be like, oh, Sentinels doesn't have strats all day. But the fact is, when this team's facing you with 5 rifles, they are so confident. Seeing Sinatraa just sit up there, destroying people with SMGs, it's impressive to watch, and I happen to love to see it. That said, finally past the bonus, we got a full gun round here. And you know, a little bit of a different look. Spreading the default perhaps a bit from Sentinels. And, you know, LG, the last time that we saw these two teams play, Doug, something that they key in on a lot is this B main, you know, B long presence. And a Proto already over here, Stellar over here. And I don't think they're going to move anytime soon, knowing that the potential for Sentinels to be out is there. Any moment now, Proto's going to grab this contact.
Well, and especially because Sentinels have been hitting A hard early, right? Like, the lack of noise there should be slightly uncomfortable. You see him already start to reposition on B, understanding that that's likely where the hit's going. The smoke comes out from across the map from Luminosity, but the Sentinels have already kind of crept their way forward. That wall goes up, and there's a counter. Oh, what a beautiful wall. But a Proto drop. Stellar still hasn't been able to connect onto anything. He actually gets messed up, and he has to back up with 18 health. He's going to have to save that heal. Somehow stays alive long enough to take care of Sinatraa as well. Shahzam drops at the hands of Moose. Sentinels down to 3. dapr there on the swing. He's going to drop as well as Stellar gets in on it. It's just down to zombs. Now, the one benefit is I believe they have no idea where Zombs is, but that didn't seem to matter, right? As Thief just snaps on him and takes him out. Luminosity walk away from this round with the win, the defuse, and 4 guns.
Man, I don't know that I've ever seen that. The bomb planer getting walled up with the defender's wall behind another wall. It's wallception, man. And like Sick clearly was caught off guard by it. He's like spinning around quickly, being like, what? What's going on?
What's happening?
But it also canceled the spike plant. And I mean, that might not have been the most huge way to stop a bomb plant, but man, the other side of the map, something that Sentinels did in contrast to, you know, previous times that I've seen this team play this map is they clearly did something over at A, because there was 2, maybe 3 players from LG that were not moving, that were not early rotating, and maybe, just maybe, wallception was the reason those rotates came in time. Now, another hard A play coming out from Sentinels, and Thief, you know, they're taking no chances with Thief here. Displaying all kinds of util, willing to throw the Reyna blind out and pop that Al drone early. And that may be exactly what the doctor ordered, but no, Thief swinging on dapr stops the early wall. I think it actually came out, but definitely stops that early aggression.
And you see Sinatraa once again, just the freaking anchor up there. Thief with some nice shots. Stellar gets it as well. Sinatraa no longer around. Your boy Dre. Sentinels just fall apart, man. Zombs was alone in that 1v5, and he's gonna get taken out. Such a clean round by Luminosity.
I really was a fan of what Sentinels was doing there. Just get in there quick, put the wall up, and the tricky part about planting on A that, like, you guys probably even experienced this back home in your ranked games. But if you're the planner and you're trying to plant for top belt, it is really tough if you don't have somebody covering that you know, rafters angle. And Thief, wise to it, understands that there is like a few feet of space in which you're going to be able to get in there and get out. And twice he does it successfully before getting bailed out by Dre. So Sentinels seems to have adapted somewhat. It's just still this wide peeking Thief that just refuses to quit. And he, you know, if you're in his shoes, Doug, like, you know that Sentinels is going to be hungry for you, and yet he still comes away with 2. That's impressive stuff right there.
Very impressive. That was also, I mean, that was certainly nothing to scoff at. Between the Hunter's Fury and the Ghost. All right, that's 2. That's probably too many, right? Certainly more than they bargained for. What is happening? Sentinels on the Eagle, they just, my gosh, what?
Let's go, dude. The Sentinels just immediately catches every player from LG out of step and out of sync. And I wonder whether or not LG even realized that they had pushed out that quickly. You know, I like, even just sitting here, I'm watching the mini-map, like, look at this. You know, the Hunter's Fury creates the space. And you see Moose fleeing for his life. You see Thief, Proto, Stellar, all kind of giving ground, just trying to yield that pressure. But what that does is suddenly there's nobody taking contact on the bomb site. Nobody's keeping an eye on whether or not Sentinels has pushed through the area that, you know, they were previously defending. And suddenly, Classic's in your face. The kills go the way of Sentinels. That's a huge eco round win. And actually, right here, it's the first time we've seen an operator in Shahzam's hands, and might be the first time we see it in action. It's another A play coming out here from Sentinels, Doug.
Yeah, 2 drones already being used. But Slower coming out. They're feeling things out, seeing what they can get. See Thief already getting pushed off. Man, nice shot from Shahzam. We talked about that op early on, and there it is. It delivers. It was a problem last time, but Thief, whoo! Crispy shots onto Shahzam.
Yeah, just finding his mark each and every time. He's willing to take the risk. Shazam, luckily, going to get rezzed by dapr, and that's just one of those minor benefits of having a Sage in your comp. You wonder now whether or not LG's going to go for their own here, Doug.
See Sinatraa. Oh man, Sinatraa worked all the way up. Oh, they don't know that Moose is there. He's gone unchecked. He's able to get one. Stellar gets in on it as well, but Sinatraa, who'd gotten all the way in, is able to take care of Dre. He gets a second one onto Thief as well, repositioning, working his way around the site as it drops down to Moose in a 1v3. The wall's there to really keep him at bay and force him to only funnel in one way. You have no options when it comes to trying to take this back other than fighting right through them. Shazam drops as Moose tries to make this spicy, tries to make it interesting. Sinatraa, we talked about him at the beginning of the round, getting deep all the way in. He's going to be the last one to deliver the kill of 3K for Sentinels there.
He looks like he's feeling it, and that's the second, maybe the third time that we've seen, Sinatraa basically brawling it out on the A site and coming away with a round win that, this very well could have been an LG win.
Yep.
If he doesn't get that kill, if he doesn't secure the second one, and then of course he collects the third on a Moose, but definitely was a tenuous moment there for the defending side of LG, and then again for the attacking side of Sentinels, but he was the difference there, and it really seems like he's hitting his marks, and certainly is not afraid to challenge a lot of these players that are really confident on the side of LG on the defending side.
Once again, Sentinels going A, right? And if it's working, why break it? Boost with the Hunter Fury there. Oh, Thief able to take care of dapr as well. And that's certainly not going to feel good. But Sinatraa, my gosh, the guy's just playing with reckless abandon. He's getting all the way in there. Stellar's going to use the res onto Thief, but they should have a decent idea of where it is. Sinatraa and Shazam, they continue to rip Luminosity to shreds.
Wow. Not only is Shazam hitting his op shots now, but yeah, Sinatraa, we just talked about him, but that takes insane amounts of confidence. You hear Moose ripping his Hunter's Fury, so you know he doesn't have his weapon out. And Thief, I don't know whether he fell off of the rafters ledge or what, but Sinatraa bit immediately. He was willing to pounce. I think he collected 2 or 3 on that round, but really opened things up there. LG has been relying on Thief, the Jet, to be making plays and hitting shots over here. Otherwise, there's really no reason to think that Sentinel's A take is anything wrong with it. Right. It's just Thief hitting his shots. And so, if you take him out early, suddenly Sentinels has a foothold that otherwise in previous... Oh, wow, there it is again. Vandal frag from Thief. Moose grabs one of his own. Sick is able to trade one of those out, but this is already so tense. Proto not able to claim a frag, though, and now it's a 3-on-1, Doug. Stellar with the tall task in front of him.
Yeah, tall. Well, okay. That's one. Sure. All right. Almost, but it was a great swing. Great timing from Shazam to take him out. And Sentinels are going to take the lead. They're going to have 4 ultimates going into this round as well. Now, for Luminosity, we talked about how pivotal Thief is on that site on A. They're going to have full rifles to work with as well. This one should be good. The one concerning thing for Sentinels, for Luminosity, Sentinels have money, right? Like, they're deep. Their pockets are deep, yes. Right? Like, capital D deep. They've got plenty to work with.
And not only do they have just oodles of cash, okay, but they've also got the, most of LG busted out their ults in the last 2 rounds, so keeping that Hunter's Fury on, the side of Sentinels for this kind of a moment could end up being pivotal. Look at this wall boost.
Yeah, well, look, the wall boost and the fact that Shazam's playing the op from a different location makes it harder to deal with. And Thief drops, right? We talked about him as a big anchor there. He gets taken out, but your boy Dre shows up and says, listen, I can light up just as well as he can. But on that swing, he's going to get taken out. 6 there. But Sick, my gosh, Sick. Drop things down to a 2v2. They're going to get to take the spike. They have the option to run away, but a Proto's on the other side. It doesn't matter. Sick gives him the business, and he's going to get out scot-free.
Yeah, Sick is just holding W, collecting headshots. That's the beauty of a Phantom, I suppose, but I think a Proto thought he had a free kill there, and instead just had his dome ripped off.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
Stellar in a 1v2, Doug. Seems like a familiar theme. This is the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen him all alone.
Yeah, and look at the way Sentinels are playing this is just wonderful. Sick with the Hunter's Fury, knows he can play off, right? They don't have to get all up in here. Certainly you don't want to have to use that, but you can. And that gap in the wall is going to push him off. They're going to blast right through it. Stellar's running out of time here. He was also running out of health. Sick gets 4 as Sentinels take a 2-round lead.
And Sentinels not only looking confident, Doug, but I think it's also a combination of Dre actually stepped up to the plate, pushed that bracket area, and found 2 kills that, you know, maybe you would expect Thief to get around like that. But look at that refrag from Sick. He finds a second one, and then he's just dashing out, crashes into a Proto who, once again, probably didn't expect to lose that. But
yeah,
now it's 6-4, and this is a commanding attack side lead on a defender-sided map. This is very different, a very different storyline from what we maybe built it up to be, Doug. Too many rounds have already gone the way of Sentinels, man.
Right. Has a heavy, I mean a death ball, working its way down B long. And Luminosity looks to respond with a death ball of their own. The wall goes up. Oh no, Stellar never saw him, man. He never had a chance. As dapr was up above him, he was able to take him out. Thief with the Sheriff gets 1, but dapr's already gotten 3 on the round, and he's looking for more.
dapr is farming right now. He, like, not a traditional battle sage, but he's holding W into their spawn. Moose will collect the kill finally after dapr collects 3 of his own, and, well, LG in another clutch situation, Doug.
Yeah, and I think the benefit is that Moose spotted 1, but that also gave his position away. He's going to get challenged. The confidence, man, look at it. Sinatraa, Sentinels, they're feeling themselves.
And it's fun to watch. Like, when Sentinels is, I mean, Sentinels is always good, but when Sentinels is confident and they are in control of a game, they have no fear.
Yeah.
And Sinatraa is kind of like the epitome of that, where
Look
absolutely
at Sinatraa.
Yeah, I see with the judge in his hands.
Oh boy.
What are his plans with that, Doug?
Mess people up, man.
I mean, yeah, but I'm genuinely curious. Like, what is he going to do with this judge and why? But
He's
we'll
about
find
to
out here in a
show us.
second.
He's about to show us. We'll see. You know, maybe you use the Hunter's Fury to clear space to let him get in aggressively. He doesn't have a dash like a Jet would or blast packs to help him get in there, but he does have that. He's going to be playing those tight angles as well. And folks, it's not like he didn't have money. It's not like his team didn't have money. He's intentionally playing this. There's something in here that he likes. There's the Hunter's Fury from Moose. Actually, as Thief gets 1, Sick trades it out. Zombs is the one who's playing super aggressive here as the as the Hunter's Fury is traded back. Sinatraa gets rezzed as the Luminosity are just down to 3.
Yeah, and that Blade Storm, which did a lot of damage towards dapr.
There it is.
Doesn't even matter. He heals. Sinatraa finally gets that judge kill we were waiting
No
for,
way,
too.
bro. He's
I
already
wanna say I
got
love it.
Well, say
But
you love it, man. Say it.
I mean, I want to say I love it, but the judge?
I know I said last time, this was the last time I was going to be returning you from a break, and while I had the best of intentions, I lied, and I kind of forgot that we do a halftime break. So, I'm sorry, but this is the last time, unless the producers mess with me, which they very well may. This is the last time we're bringing you back from a break. No, I'm not cutting to break. This is the last time I'm cutting you guys from a break. Welcome back. The second half of the third map between Sentinels and Luminosity. Sentinels, really, they clicked, man. The timeline tells you everything. They got everything they wanted. 7 rounds in a row. Luminosity, to be honest, seemed kind of lost.
Yeah, and straight up, you know, they came off of a pistol round win. First one in the series, I believe, and LG looked good for the first few rounds, and then, man, Sentinels ran away with it. So, looking at the rest of this game, rest of this series, it's going to be a dogfight, Doug. And already we have an A-push coming out here from LG. In the face of Shahzam and Sinatraa, there is nothing but headshots.
Bro. Shahzam, a sneaky beaver. He was all the way up there. Nobody ever saw him. He was able to deal damage upon damage as Luminosity get ripped apart. There was just 1. Sinatraa gets 3 on the round as well. A flawless. And as much as things change, they remain the same. Sentinels win the pistol again.
Wow, that looked so clean. Legit. Immediately, just dinks, headshots. Not even close was that pistol round, just a wipe. And Sinatraa, who, I mean, just look at the score line, chat. This is the Sinatraa show, and every once in a while you get to see him just hard carry on the frag sheet, but no disappointing there. And you know, turning the tables around to kind of paint the picture for LG. If you're an LG fan at home, this is the tournament life on the line, and they've done it before. A few different comebacks that, you know, I would declare as near legendary, but this is a tall order in map 3 in lower bracket finals, down 9-4. Oof, that won't help things.
No.
Quick call.
No, certainly not. Shots land out of Shazam with the Bulldog as Steve gets taken out. You mentioned they've been here before, right? Like, even against Sentinels, they've had 9-3 halves a number of times. So it's certainly possible that they pull this thing out. A great round there from Sentinels on that eco. Flawless 3 for Sinatraa again. Is the guys, 22-7. What do you even say to that? But with that in mind, Luminosity have been here, right? They were here earlier this series, right? They were here just 2 maps ago. So they can do it. It's just, again, chip it away, right? Like, one round at a time, work your way back into this thing.
One round at a time, exactly. And you know, I love that we've gotten to cast LG a few times throughout this week, but I mean, your central theme has consistently been resiliency, right? Like, their ability to stay in a game no matter what the scoreline is. And by golly, we might just get that one last time in the final map of potentially the final map of the tournament for them. So Sentinels, who are just looking so confident, you got to slay the beast. And you know, this is feeling more and more like a David and Goliath scenario where, you know, Sinatraa, Goliath here, just hard to bring down.
Yeah, but Lex, baby, hear me out. Is it a David versus Goliath if David won the last 2 fights?
Point taken, point taken. This is true.
We'll
But
see.
Trey,
We'll see how much they have left in the tank, right? How deep do they have to dig to completely eliminate this deficit that they find themselves in? So far, 6 rounds. That's what's before them. Potentially even 7 at this point, as Sentinels have a numbers advantage. Luminosity did manage to get the spike down, and they're playing off. The wall was up, so they've got some room to work with here. Nobody's on the flank. Again, Sentinels bunching in from the middle. A little bit of elevation there. Moose spotted 1. But here they come. The Lear's there. The swing's there. That's brutal. It's almost freaking impossible to deal with.
Tough. And 11-4, as you said, 7 rounds now separating the 2. And I mean, you just look at Sinatra's mouse movement, man. Like, this man's rocking 600 APM and he's flying all around, cracking headshots. And honestly, Dre, who had a sick entry, and I don't know if we caught it, but certainly the follow-up, he had another favorable duel, it seemed, towards Sinatraa, but he reacted in tune. 24-7, the man is just unstoppable. And you're forcing into this round. You're buying up with everything you've got left, LG, but you don't take this. You're looking at map, match, series point, tournament point for LG. So hopefully, for the sake of LG fans at home who are used to a proto and likes of his comrades cracking skulls on eco rounds with a sheriff, this is where we need it most. But for Sentinels, this is feeling better and better with each round that passes, Doug. And the A push comes in. Zombs will TP out just in time. And the press comes forward.
Yep, the Empress was used from Sinatraa. Look at him, man. He's just freaking running at him. He gets punished. He gets taken out as a whirling dervish of kills are traded between both squads. Luminosity, through the chaos, emerge victorious. And really, once the dust settles, that's all you had left were those 2 players. Real quick, I know there's a poll going on in Twitch chat right now, right? Who wins Icebox at this point? It's in progress. Sentinels, 77% of you are feeling them. The majority of you have voted Sentinels every round, or every map, excuse me, up until this point. So consistency seems to continue. And so far, for the 77% of you who went that way, you're looking good. You're onto something here.
Indeed, and right away we see a little bit of A aggression that he quickly canceled out of the way of Sentinels. But wow, finally LG throwing some life into the equation, showing a little bit more than perhaps we've seen in I don't even know how many rounds. And they are poised for a B hit, and if you just check the mini map, there is nobody home. Gotta wonder whether or not Sentinels with this gamble stack is gonna figure it out sooner rather than later. There's no one there, but LG being very cautious on their approach.
Wisely so, given the deficit that they're in, but now they're going to work their way up. That wall is going to go up as well to provide a little bit of cover, and Stellar should be able to get the spike down with zero contest.
Yeah. Proto here in this forward position does collect the head of Zombs, which he's got a showstopper in hand, but he will be immediately deleted by Shazam.
Nice shot with the op there. Sinatraa still up top. You hear the Blade Storm in the hands of Thief, but numbers advantage. Oh, even more so in favor of Sentinels, but of course Thief gets one. Sinatraa trades it out. Nice shots through there as LG are down to 2. They do have the res. A couple of shock darts. See if it lands. They were able to get pushed off. It's going to drop down to a 1v1. Moose alone. The time continuing to tick. Sinatraa tapped it.
Oh!
Moose with the shots, baby. That was spicy. Luminosity win the round.
That's what he's getting paid for, man. Moose has come up so many times in this tournament. He's hot in the clutch, and there he is again, bringing the heat to Sinatraa, who, you know, I've been hyping him up all half long. But
well, how do you not,
just check
man?
the score line, man.
Yeah.
Sinatra's a beast. But Moose, cold as ever, throws out a jiggle. Doesn't even get the info, but he throws the wide peek out immediately afterwards. Confident that he'll win it. Does. And, you know, that was a well-invested round for Sentinels, and they're just half-buying again. This is still, you know, LG definitely not out of the woods in terms of being able to relax for a moment or two. But there's a lot of gameplay potentially left in the tank for LG. They have a few ults to work with if things start to go sour. Hunter's Fury, Showstopper, and that fake Shadow Step. Shrouded Step. I've missaid that several times this week. It doesn't matter. Thief trading blows. Doesn't quite come up with anything, but at least he has the information that Shazam is towards the backside of A. And it's interesting that this is a big, I think, interesting note, you know, for when we're talking about podcast material, analyzing this match is LG is taking their time to scout out info at Long B on this anti-eco, and that may just stop them from walking into this A stack.
If
That's
they,
Moose.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, at this point, Moose is ringing the bell saying, hey, guys, hold on. This may be safe. And Shazam swings it at just the right moment, right? As they were mulling over the possibility of getting the heck out, Shazam senses it, says go, holds W, and gets that kill. They're going to have to book it over there as quickly as they can, but Sentinels are on the hunt. They're chasing down across the middle. They're going to be coming in from the attacking spawn as well. If they get the timing right, they should get away scot-free. A Proto takes care of Sick. Luminosity should be clear as they've gotten on to B. Oh.
Right. And for a moment, Shazam was visible towards the players at B, but nevertheless, we have a Proto Thief already up in the kitchen area, and that is just going to make this so tough to retake. And it is a guerrilla warfare style round where there is just no room for the defenders to move this retake in. Actually, as I say that, dapr has crept all the way up into the double stack, but he falls, and LG reacting appropriately to the information fed to them by Moose. Like, you know, you highlighted it pretty darn well, where Stellar is just like, okay, yeah, we should start walking away, and there's Shazam. Nice shot from the Blade Storm, but, you know, the money is starting to grow a bit for LG. They didn't lose a ton in that last round, so secure this round here against Sentinels, and we've got ourselves a close game, I think, Doug, but still have a Hunter's Fury to work with, still have a Showstopper, and you still have your res. You're feeling good, I think, if you're LG. You're at least feeling better than you were a few rounds ago.
Right. Again, just a round at a time, right? Like, that's the only way they can approach this thing. We'll see. Shazam's going to get a chance. Man, he doesn't cash it in. Clean shots from Moose. The swings were all there. Shazam gets taken out. That's going to give him access onto B for free.
Yeah, that is a really risky peek late after you don't have info if they're out or not, but save that for another day. Moose pressing the defense even further back with his Hunter's Fury. And maybe you save that for the post plan in another scenario, but it's okay because they're still up numbers and the flankers are, for the most part, handled. Now, dapr does have his res, so if he wins one of these gun battles, he might be able to rip it. Ooh, there's one.
Yeah, but there's still, oh my gosh. All right, so he's
There's
going
the
to...
res.
He gets that res, understanding where they are. Moose with the shock dart. It's just down to Stellar. Stellar's able to get one, a 1v2. He's going to have a res of his own to equalize things as they push forward, but the spike defuse was there the entire time. Ladies and gents, Sentinels are at match point, series point, as they look to put Luminosity away.
It's almost a complete loss and a total disaster, but Sentinels is pretty broke. Their money is not great. They're going to be forcing up whatever they can into this round, of course, you know, coming off a round win, but there's no Blade Storm available. No operator at hand. And even, you know, I won't call it a straight up fumble, but the miss from Shahzam, you know, kind of overplaying that long B position a bit. You know, it really looked like nothing but daylight for LG. And instead, you know, whiffing the Hunter's Fury is Moose. That flank came in a little too strong, and that res really was the difference maker. And so now, you know, this is kind of a weird situation where LG, who were poised to come back, had the bank to come back, has somehow reset Sentinels to some degree, at least. Not quite a reset, but definitely throwing them onto a weak bye. And there's only five rounds that separate these two teams, Doug, and I wonder whether or not this will be enough to secure a foothold again.
Another B hit as we look to answer your very question. Three of them.
Check out Thief, though.
Yeah.
A couple times in the last series, I remember him having some pretty hard lurks with some success, but the question is when they do commit, and they will, as a Proto is there on the bomb site already. Sick will be the first to fall.
Yeah,
dapr is there, though, to collect one more, and he grabs another. So this is a 3v3.
They've taken mid. It is down to a 3v3. They have the Empress and the From the Shadows. Luminosity have gotten back into Sentinels' spawn as they're going to try to pinch in around them. They have the positional advantage. Sentinels, they've got to get something going here. Again, Sinatraa taps. Keep a close eye on Thief. You mentioned him. The paranoia is going to come through. Split the uprights. There's Thief. Thief with one, dashing his way in as he continues to try to put Sentinels away. It's just down to Zombs. Zombs in a 1v3. Zombs with one. Stellar takes care of him. We're going to play another round.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the kind of the question that I was about to dangle, was like, if they get the information that they're rotated out of A, are they going to commit the plant? And once a Proto's there on the site, there's almost no question. Thief will be on the lurk. And it came in huge after that play was made. Sick had no clue. Had no idea that a Proto was beneath him, but they've definitely found some gaps in the Sentinels' defense. And they've been willing to exploit it for a few rounds in this half, which I'm more than happy to see is, you know, Icebox can get a little stale when you hit A 12 rounds in a row, but LG definitely showing some different looks here. And it's paying off in a big way. Sentinels reacting with a little bit of a half buy here, grabbing some stingers. You know, their money was weak in the last one, and certainly it's been broken now, but... And there's the confidence flowing through a Proto once more, where had a little bit of a rough game kind of going into this, but he's had a good half so far. Found his entries and found his footing. And now it's a 5-on-4, Doug.
5-on-4, Moose's drone. Giving him all sorts of room. All right, here comes Sentinels. Understanding where that first pick went, they're just going to really send it across middle. If Luminosity come back, oh my gosh, Thief again. If Luminosity come back, they'd be walking right into his laps, but Thief goes huge as he's able to clean up two. Sentinels are down to really two players left as they get the spike down. Stellar's going to plant, a Proto's there, and it's just going to drop down to Shahzam. He's got a Frenzy in a 1v5. I mean, I'm hopeful. Do you believe?
I believe. I believe, Doug. Proto with 3. Listen, something that I want to give LG praise for, and really, I mean, the scoreline, most of this game, I really have given all the praise to Sentinels, and I think rightfully so, of course, but, you know, the way that they're manipulating Sentinels rotations, and of course, this is just an anti-eco, but that lurk from Thief twice in a row has paid off.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the way that Sentinels is approaching their B defense. Okay, they're willing to give that long B ground with little to no fight. You know, they throw the slow orb out and then they leave. That'll change right now. They've realized that this is a weakness. The operator's over here, the Sage is over here. Surely LG scouts this with the Sal drone. Yep.
Yeah,
information comes out, and I hope
yeah.
the reaction is to go the other way, Doug, because
That's exactly what they do. Yeah, like the slow warp came out, the op shot rang as well, and we're like, nope, we don't want it. We don't want it. The same thing that we have seen, however, is Thief playing over by A. He's going to dash his way into his Cloudburst. That Paranoia is going to come out, not land onto anyone, as Sinatraa with the Stinger, able to get one. You hear the ult come out, and once again, not going to connect. At the hands of a Proto, Zombs punishes him sick with the Hunter's Fury. They've got the numbers advantage. Sentinels are starting to pick this thing away, but Stellar brings Thief back from the dead to enter the fold just as quickly as he drops. Stellar's gonna get the spike down, or I believe he was, but he was pushed off. Dapr, oh Dapr. He was able to get the last one. It's just down to Stellar. Stellar in a 1v3 to keep it alive, and it's not going to happen. Beat me once, shame on me. Beat me twice, shame on me again. But Sentinel says it will not happen a third time as they take down Luminosity, and they qualify for the grand finals.
Wow. Congratulations to Sentinels. As you said, advancing to the grand finals. A valiant effort from LG, not only to bring the series back, but bring that map back. Almost happened, and really